C. 2735. C. 2735. The old man looked at his disciple run away in anger, and could only sigh. His strength was also limited. He was unable to fight against the Azure Dragon School, and could not help his disciple. The helplessness of this master and disciple were seen by Qin Xiang. Of course he could not help, because he was only at the third stage of the Tai Dao realm, far from it. The beefy man came under a big tree. He hit the tree with his fists and broke it with a few blows. This elder brother, why is he so angry? Qin Xiang revealed his real body and walked over to ask, "Who are you?" "The street you are." Dy man could not help but be shocked when he saw Qin Xiang suddenly appear. He thought to himself that he was not cautious enough just now, and someone approached him but did not notice. "I was just passing by and felt the presence, so I came to take a look." Qin Xiang had a smile on his face, and his tone was extremely respectful and humble. The muscular man was also an honest man. Seeing that Qin Xiang was so friendly, he sighed. "I am a piece of trash who cannot take revenge for my own brother. I can only come to eat and vent my anger." "Little brother Qin Xiang, how should I address you?" Qin Xiang asked. "Yichong. The street you are." Dy man laughed at himself. "Because of this name, I can always easily allow Yichong to move." Qin Xiang had a good impression of the Stu. R. Dy man. He looked simple and honest, without any wariness towards outsiders. "Big brother E, are your targets for revenge very strong?" Qin Xiang asked. He only knew now that it was the head disciple of some Azure Dragon School. He is the chief disciple of the Azure Dragon School, and at such a young age, he is already at the late stage of the Heaven Realm. Yichong's face was filled with anger when he mentioned him. "Is the Azure Dragon School very powerful?" Qin Xiang knew nothing about this place. "You don't know. Brother, did you come up from below?" Yichong was a little surprised. "I heard that it was the Flying Dragon Pag." "Oh. Da's opening day this time around, and it's not easy to come up from the bottom up in such a short amount of time. But bro, your cultivation isn't strong. The lower floors are very scary, and without a certain level of strength, it's very difficult to get up. I came up with my seniors on the 99th floor and was lost. Then I found my way up by chance." Qin Xiang sighed. It was as he had guessed. It was very difficult to come here under the Three Profound Realm. He was worried. "So that's how it is, no wonder." Yichong sat on the ground, leaned against a tree trunk and said, "The Azure Dragon School is built by the Azure Dragon clan within the Flying Dragon Pag. Oh, duh, and is one of the strongest sects. In addition, there are the Vermilion Bird Sect, Profound Marital School Sect, White Tiger Sect, Qilin Sect, and the Phoenix Sect." Qin Xiang was secretly surprised. These were the 7 great villas outside the Myriad Tao City. He did not know if there was any sort of connection between them during this period of time. In short, the sects in Flying Dragon Pag. Oh. They were much stronger than the ones outside. These 7 sects were all established by the beast race. And humans can also join them. Of course, there are sects that humans have built themselves. Although there are many that are strong, they are far from being comparable to sects like divine beasts. After all, divine beasts are a force to be reckoned with, and it is already good that our human sects are able to succeed in power. Qin Xiang never thought that humans could develop so well in the Flying Dragon Pag. "Oda. Brother E, what sect are you from?" Qin Xiang asked. "Are there any requirements to join these sects?" "Of course there's a request. This request might be difficult, but it's not easy to fulfill either. Entering those sects requires a fee every year." Yichong's face was filled with displeasure. "A year requires 100 million Dao crystals, which are the requirements of the top sections. And the first, second, and third-rate sects that come down are respectively 50 million, 30 million, and 10 million for a year." Qin Xiang was also shocked by the request. It was extremely difficult. If it was in the Myriad Tao City, many people would have been rejected, and now, he knew that Tao crystal were used, and he still had a few 100 million Tao crystal. We need so many Tao crystal, where are we going to get them? Oh right, are there a lot of people in the 7 divine beast sects? Chen Xiang asked. If there were a lot of people, then wouldn't the 7 sects be extremely rich? The Tao crystals are mainly going to the other floors to mine. There are 1,000 floors. If we are lucky we can find a piece of the Tao crystal mine, then we would be rich. All of the Tao crystal mines here have reserves of tens of billions of dollars. At this time, Yi Chong was in a much better mood when he mentioned the flying dragon pag. Oh, Da's situation to Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang had experienced hundreds of levels from the bottom up, and those floors were all filled with extremely rich Tao Qi. It would not be difficult to nurture a Tao crystal mine, and maybe there were also floors below, since every floor was huge, just like a large world. The resources of the flying dragon pag. Oh, they could be said to be very plentiful. Yi Chong continued. I don't have that many Tao crystals, so I chose a master. My master is also very good to me. My brother's luck is good. The person who took him in as his disciple is Azure Dragon School, so he doesn't need. That way, he can learn the Azure Dragon School's absolute arts inside the Azure Dragon School. There are quite a few people in the Azure Dragon School, and there are quite a few in the 100 floors of the Azure Dragon School. Of course, not all the disciples of Azure Dragon School have to pay a fee. For example, my brother, if you are accepted as a disciple by a true disciple of the Azure Dragon School, you will be exempt from the fee. Is there the myriad Tao divine steel here too? Chen Xiang asked again. The Azure Dragon School must have received a lot of fees every year, right? If they have Tao crystal, then wouldn't they be able to get a lot of law beads? That's right, but the myriad Tao divine steel is not fixed here. It will only appear once a month, and once a month it will disappear. Therefore, all sects and families need a lot of resources to investigate the location of the myriad Tao's divine steel. Yi Chong said. So for the rest of us who haven't joined the big sect, we need more Tao crystal to buy them. Before, Chen Xiang had heard the Longhua Lion say that the myriad Tao's divine steel was very special, and that the number of Tao crystal used inside wouldn't be many. But now that he had come here, the things he said were completely different. It was rather special. It had only appeared after a month, and the location of its appearance could not be determined. This was simply a scam. It would definitely raise the price of the law bead. How many Tao crystal cores does a spatial law beads need? Chen Xiang mustered the courage to ask as he was mentally prepared. 300 million, Yi Chong said. Chen Xiang almost fainted. When he was in Myriad Tao City, the Myriad Tao Divine Steel only required 7 to 8,000 Myriad Tao crystals to condense a spatial law bead. How many pills will be needed to form a Tao Meridian? Chen Xiang asked again. If 10 of them were to condense it, 300 million per pellet would only be 3 billion. 100 pills. Yi Chong had shattered Chen Xiang's beautiful fantasies. C-2736. C-2736 Chen Xiang really wanted to rush down to find the Longhua Lion and beat him up. Previously, the Longhua Lion said that there were very few Tao crystal that had been used up by the myriad Tao's divine steel. Bro, what's wrong with you? Why are you so unhappy? Yi Chong saw Chen Xiang's expression and asked inside. Someone told me before that the amount of Tao crystal here would be very little. Where I was previously, I would only need 100 million Tao crystal to buy spatial law beads. Chen Xiang laughed bitterly. Did that bastard say that? F** King Fart. There are a lot of Tao crystal here, and a lot of them have to be consumed. My master has personally used the Tao crystal to go to the myriad Tao's divine steel and condense the Tao crystal. Otherwise, the cost would be around 200 million Tao crystal. Although this was not a good thing for Chen Xiang, but if he was thinking in a good direction, then this could be said to be a good thing because the fact that he could refine law beads meant that he could sell it for a higher price. Just what kind of existence is this flying dragon pag? Oh duh. Each floor is a huge world. Could it be that they exist to train the dragon beast? Chen Xiang was extremely curious about this. There are currently two ways of saying. The first way is that the flying dragon pag, oh, duh, is a boat, and once all the worlds are about to be destroyed, all sorts of raw spirit beast would be summoned into the tower. Once the outside world is destroyed and reborn, all the living beings that enter the tower will leave it and become very strong, protecting the world that was reborn outside. Di Ben. Read. This is the home of all beasts, the birthplace of all beasts. There are many tunnels that lead to different worlds, and they will constantly transport different kinds of beasts to those worlds to maintain the diversity of the world. No, 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 no. Chen Xiang felt that the second kind of legend was more reliable, because in many worlds there were dragons and phoenixes. Bro, you just came here, I'll take you for a walk around here. Yichong laughed. You can stay at my house. My house isn't very luxurious, don't despise it. Of course I don't mind. Chen Xiang was also very happy as he followed Yichong to his residence. Originally, Yichong wanted to go down to the ground floor to train, but it was extremely dangerous, so he was stopped by his master at the staircase. Yichong's house was quite far from here. Chen Xiang followed him for an entire day, and finally arrived at a small town. Yichong's house was located at the side of the town. On the way, Chen Xiang asked a lot of questions about the 100 floors. He never thought that the flying dragon pag, oh duh, was bustling with activity. There were more than 1 billion humans, with tens of thousands of cities of various sizes, and the places where the 7 divine beast sects resided were the most bustling areas. It's hard to imagine such a world inside the flying dragon pag. Oda. Chen Xiang had not thought that there would be so many people here, but he did not expect that there would be so many of them. Of course. The flying dragon pag, oh, duh, has existed for millions of years, and so many humans have entered the flying dragon pag. Oh duh. Furthermore, there are the myriad Tao's divine steel and endless resources inside that place. Yichong said, my ancestors lived in a small world. After that small world was destroyed, he was lucky enough to survive, and even opened up a path to divine wasteland. Chen Xiang was currently in Yichong's house. This was a large house, only a little old, probably left behind by his ancestors. After my younger brother was crippled, it would be difficult for him to recover in the future. Right now, walking is a problem. The head disciple of the Azure Dragon School is also quite cruel. He said that we're all from the same sect, but he actually showed no mercy. Although Yichong was furious, he was mostly feeling helpless. If I had known earlier, I would have stopped him from fighting for the position of chief disciple. Now it's all ruined. Yichong doted on his brother a lot, and his brother's achievements were much higher than his. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had the strength to fight for the position of chief disciple. Where's your brother? Chen Xiang asked. It's in the Azure Dragon School. His master had been good to him too, and had been left by him in the Azure Dragon School to recuperate. Azure Dragon School's current chief disciple is a very brutal person. Originally, my brother was about to admit defeat, but he didn't give my brother the chance to do so. Chen Xiang could guess what happened during the compet. One Tian. You rest for a few days first, I will go with you to the Flying Dragon City, and prepare to start the Flying Dragon Association there. Yichong said. At that time, let's see if we can meet up with my brother. Flying Dragon Association? Chen Xiang had heard of it before, but at that time, he was eavesdropping, so he did not dare to ask. It's the once-in-100 years grand meeting of the Flying Dragon Pag. Oda. At that time, the myriad Tao Divine Tablets formation will appear in the Wyvern Square in the middle of the Flying Dragon City. Those myriad Tao Divine Steel only appear once every 100 years, and the number of Tao Crystal that are required is extremely small. That plaza can hold tens of thousands of people to condense law beads at the same time. With my strength, can I go too? Chen Xiang never thought that there would be such a good thing. He felt that the Longhua Lion saying that the myriad Tao Divine Steel here required a few Tao Crystal ought to refer to the myriad Tao Divine Tablets formation that had appeared. But before that, I must definitely accumulate a few more Tao Crystal. Otherwise, when the time comes, I can obtain a placing, but there won't be many Tao Crystal that would go and condense their law beads. Yi Chong laughed. Your chance is relatively higher because you're a Tai Dao realm cultivator. Although there are 10 stages to the Tai Dao realm, because the condition of your Dao veins is different from that of the Celestial Sect of Wonders, your strength cannot be determined by just your cultivation alone. My heaven realm is not good. The difference of one level is like heaven and earth. Yi Chong said, at that time I will just join in the fun to see if I have the chance to take revenge on that B.A.S.T.A.R.D. How long until Flying Dragon A.S. Association starts? Chen Xiang asked. Although he had several 100 million Tao Crystal in his possession now, it was not much, and he was worried that it would not be enough. 1 more year. Yi Chong said, time is tight, we will need more than a month to get to the Flying Dragon City. How could it be so far away? This allowed Chen Xiang to have a clearer understanding of the world inside the dragon's level 100. It was actually so vast, and far from being as small as it looked from the outside. Chen Xiang rested for a few days before hurrying with Yi Chong to the Flying Dragon City, where there were no dragon beasts along the way. Yi Chong said that all of the dragon beasts on this floor had long been killed and had gone to another floor to hide, so in order to kill the dragon beast, one had to go to another floor. After more than a month, Chen Xiang and Yi Chong finally arrived at the Flying Dragon City. The Flying Dragon City didn't have city walls, but it was an extremely huge city, and there were over 100 million people present. Flying Dragon A.S. Association was organized by the people who came down from the 200th floor, and this was to ensure fairness. Chen Xiang had already been understood the specifics, so the details would be announced when they started. See 2737. See 2737 right now. Even if Chen Xiang was in a hurry to train his Rule Dao line, it would still be useless because he was extremely lacking Dao Crystal. If he went to directly buy them, it would be a loss, so he decided to try to see if he could get a placing in the Flying Dragon A.S. Association. Brother, you should still be careful here. Although it is forbidden to fight in here, if you have power and influence, they will not have any consequences even if you are beaten up. Instead, you will suffer great misfortune. After Yi Chong entered the city, he warned Chen Xiang. Doesn't this mean that it's more dangerous? Seeing that there were no city walls, Chen Xiang knew that this city was relatively loose. Yes, there is. However, as long as you are careful and do not provoke others, nothing will happen to you. Look, a lot of people are fine here. Yi Chong laughed. If Chen Xiang wanted to earn Dao Crystal here, he would have to go sell it himself. At that time, it would be impossible for him to not offend others. Alright, I have to go to work now. You can take a walk around here. The lodging outside is quite cheap. Yi Chong's men were very good. They took out a few thousand Dao Crystal and gave them to Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang didn't accept it. It wasn't easy for Yi Chong to earn Dao Crystal himself. He was too embarrassed said to take it. Yi Chong's work was also manual labor. He was responsible for escorting some people or going to other floors to hunt dragon beast. His cultivation was low, so he did not send Chen Xiang there. After separating with Yi Chong, Chen Xiang looked at the huge city and thought, as long as I don't enter the center of the city, I will not provoke anyone with authority. I just need to earn Dao Crystal outside of the city. Chen Xiang felt that the Dao Crystal in his hands right now was still not enough. He had to earn even more before the Flying Dragon A.'s association begins. Only by doing this would he be able to get more law beads. Right now, I can only return to my original job. Chen Xiang knew how to refine pills, and selling good pills was his forte. He had been investigating the outside world for half a day, and got to know the situation of the cultivators at the bottom level of the city. Although their cultivation were lower, they were still better than him by a little. Most of them were at least Tai Dao Realm level 5, with quite a few at the peak. The people here had a lot more Dao Crystal than those in the Myriad Tao City. After all, the Flying Dragon Pag. Possessed a large amount of resources, especially the Dao Crystal Mine, which was incalculable. There shouldn't be any market for Gomai Dan, so Tianhun Gold Dan can be sold. After all, this is a place to cultivate spirit of the Dao Gods. The Tai Dao realm is mainly used to cultivate the spirit of the Dao Gods. There are a lot of them here. This was a good thing for Chen Xiang. The refining speed of his Tianhun Gold Dan was already very fast, and he, the Yu Yao Mountain Villa, was also growing a large amount of medicinal ingredients to refine Tianhun Gold Dan. Previously, he had refined 30,000 Tianhun Gold Dan, but now he could sell them. Marketing was a problem, and he did not intend to make a shop to sell them himself. That would be more dangerous. It would be very easy for someone to destroy the shop, and it would also bring about a lot of trouble. He wanted to be like the Myriad Tao City, refining the pills and selling them at the shops, then letting the shops sell them at a higher price. That way, he wouldn't have to look after the shops and sell the pills by himself, and even if he angered the big shops, it would be easy for him to escape. It seems like I can't settle down outside the city. I have to go to a place closer to the center of the city where I can buy as many pills as I want. Chen Xiang looked at the pill shops outside. They were of a relatively small scale, and the larger ones would not be opened outside, but in the richer and more prosperous regions. After some investigation, Chen Xiang decided to go to the place further inside the former Flying Dragon City. After half a day, he arrived at the central region. The Flying Dragon City was divided into outer region, middle region, inner region, and center of Flying Dragon City. Amongst them, the center of Flying Dragon City was the peak place, with many of the N.O. and officials present in this region, while the inner region was the second tier. The central region was more balanced and belonged to the middle region, with the outer region being the poorest and weakest region. This central region is really different. When Chen Xiang arrived at the central region, the buildings here looked much more elegant than those in the outer region. The streets were clean and beautiful and were paved with SHI plus New York stone slabs. Chen Xiang asked around and found a pill shop that had a good reputation. Very quickly, he found a shop called Profound Wu Dan Pavilion. This was opened by the Profound Marital School, and was the property of the God Beast sect. Other than having a good reputation, it also had a certain level of skill. I wonder if this Profound Wu Dan Pavilion will do business with me? Chen Xiang arrived at the entrance of the Profound Wu Dan Pavilion. The Profound Wu Dan Pavilion was 10 stories tall and had a simple and unadorned stone tower. After entering, Chen Xiang saw many counters. All sorts of counters had a sign on them saying the role of the counter. Chen Xiang immediately saw the pill purchasing counter. It was also the coldest and most deserted. The person in charge of the counter was a young man, who impatiently rested his chin on his hand and was fiddling with a brush. "Are you here to purchase pills?" Chen Xiang sat on a stool at the counter and asked softly. When the young man saw that there was a human, he immediately became spirited and smiled to Chen Xiang. Yes, look at your goods." Chen Xiang sized up the young man. He had an extremely good appearance, one of the more handsome type, dressed in exquisite and luxurious clothing, different from the others at the counter. The most important thing was, his cultivation was actually quite strong. It was from the heaven realm. This pill is called Tianhun Gold Dan. Do you know how much it is worth? Chen Xiang took out a Tianhun Gold Dan. Tianhun Gold Dan? I've never heard of it before. The young man took Chen Xiang's pellet, sniffed it, and carefully looked at it. Looks like it's not bad. It contains a dense amount of strong soul force, which should be used to strengthen the spirit of the Tao Ji. ODS. How many of these do you have? I need to eat and see before I can ascertain the effects of this pill. Only then can I name a price. Of course, if you want me to value it, the price I offer is relatively low. If you give me a taste, then I can definitely give you a kind price. The youth said. Go ahead and eat. Chen Xiang laughed. I still have some more. After the young man ate it, he immediately felt the powerful effects of the Tianhun Gold Dan. His eyes immediately lit up, as he finally had a better understanding of the pill's effects. How many do you have? This kind of pill is a new breed, and is much better than the more popular soul-boosting pills, which are priced at 2,500 Tao crystal per pellet. The young man was suddenly very interested in this kind of pill. Then how many can you buy from me? Chen Xiang asked. Do you have a lot on you? The young man looked around before asking in a low voice. Chen Xiang nodded slightly. Follow me. The young man immediately stood up and walked towards the stairs. Chen Xiang followed him to a secret meeting room on the third floor. C-2738. C-2738. You should know the reputation of our profound Wu Dan Pavilion, so you don't have to worry about I'll screw over you. The young man laughed, then poured some tea for Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang took a sip and asked, Brother, from your clothes, you don't look like an ordinary person. My name is Wu Profound, and I am a disciple of the Profound Marital School. My master is a successor disciple of the Profound Marital School, and can be considered to have a certain status within the Profound Marital School. Wu Profound said, Originally, I could have stayed in the inner region, but I could not stand the atmosphere there, so I decided to develop here in the central region. At least people here were all respectful to me. This Wu Profound was also the type of person who wanted to become rich, with a master who was a true disciple. It showed that his background was not bad. My name is Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang only told him his name. Brother Wu, can you give me a price now? To be honest, this type of pill is about twice as effective as the ascending soul pill. If it's sold in a shop, I think selling the 3,500 Tao crystal should not be a problem. If I were to buy it from you, 3,000 Tao crystal S for one pellet. This was something Chen Xiang was quite surprised about. When he was in the Myriad Tao City, he had only sold 2,000 Profound Prac. 1. Tioniers for one pellet. This Wu Profound would definitely sell it to Profound Wu Dan Pavilion at a higher price, and then the Profound Wu Dan Pavilion would also sell it to him at a higher price. This way, both Wu Profound and the shop could earn a lot. Alright, 3,000 pills. Chen Xiang said, Then how many pills can you buy now? Wu Profound was shocked. He felt that he should be the one selling the pills for Chen Xiang, and Chen Xiang asking him how much he could eat meant that Chen Xiang had a lot of pills of this kind. How much do you have? Wu Profound didn't know why, but he started to become a little nervous. He felt that this person in front of him could make a huge profit out of this. 30,000 pills, can you eat it? Chen Xiang asked. Wu Profound was stunned. 30,000 pills, that was a huge trade for him. Yes. Wu Profound was startled for a moment, then immediately replied, Wait for me, I'll be back soon. Wu Profound did not have 9,000 myriad Tao crystals on hand, so he had to gather them. After all, he had a successor disciple master, so he had some reputation. Look at your Tianhun Gold Dan. Wu Profound said somewhat excitedly. Here. Chen Xiang took out a large jade box that was filled with Tianhun Gold Dan. Here are 3,000 pills. All right, here are the 9,000 myriad Tao crystals. Count them yourself. Wu Profound felt that Chen Xiang was trustworthy too, so he gave it to Chen Xiang first. Chen Xiang took it and counted it, then nodded his head in satisfaction and handed the other Tianhun gold Dan over to Wu Profound. I've been in the Profound Wu Dan Pavilion for more than a year, and I almost couldn't hold on any longer. After Wu Profound pointed it out, he was extremely excited as he sighed. How much are you planning to sell it to Profound Wu Dan Pavilion? Chen Xiang laughed. This. Speak, don't feel sorry for me. Chen Xiang spread his hands. 1,000. Wu Profound scratched his head. Don't scold me. Chen Xiang didn't think that Wu Profound would add so much. So you're saying that you've earned 30 million just by changing hands? That's pretty bad. Chen Xiang said. Now that the business has been completed, you have no regrets. Don't blame me. Wu Profound curled his lips. Right, you won't directly go to Profound Wu Dan Pavilion next time, right? Chen Xiang thought. He felt that he could directly find the Profound Wu Dan Pavilion, but at that time, he would expose himself. Brother Wu, how about this? I won't look for Profound Wu Dan Pavilion, only through you. However, you must guarantee that you won't reveal that I will not reveal the Tianhun gold Dan I refined, and I will let you earn 1,000 Tao crystal S worth of difference. When Chen Xiang was in Myriad Tao City, he was always on tenterhooks earning Tao crystal S, and he had had enough of this kind of crime. All right, let's sign a blood contract. How about it? In order to win over this money tree, Wu Profound was willing to put in a lot of effort. After Chen Xiang and he signed the blood contract, Wu Profound smiled and said, Brother Shin, after I pass the task to Profound Wu Dan Pavilion, I will bring you to the Drunken Fragrance Inn. The beauties over there just arrived. With that, Wu Profound ran out of the hall and waited there speechlessly. When Wu Profound returned, his face was all smiles. He had earned 3,000 myriad Tao crystals with a flip of his hand, and he hadn't even expended much effort. Let's go, I'll treat you. Wu Profound laughed as he pulled Chen Xiang and walked out of the Profound Wu Dan Pavilion. Chen Xiang sat inside the horse carriage with him and asked softly, Is Drunken Fragrance Pavilion that kind of place? It's that kind of place. It's fine if you don't do that sort of thing. You just have to go and drink, eat something, and see some beauties. Wu Profound was also very quick-witted. He did not ask Chen Xiang how so many Tianhun gold Dan came from, nor did he ask Chen Xiang when they would deliver the goods to him. Since Chen Xiang told him to keep this a secret, he was naturally clear that Chen Xiang did not wish for others to know too much. Drunken Fragrance Tower was also known as the Wind Moon Country, but when Wu Profound brought Chen Xiang to the tallest floor, it was also the best place. Inside the private box, there was a beauty playing music and dancing while pouring wine, making it a good place to relax. Chen Xiang looked out of the window and saw a Yangtze River, which looked like a long dragon coiled around. There were many huge boats on the surface of the river. This is Flying Dragon River. It can connect directly to the center of Flying Dragon City. With our current financial resources, we should be able to survive in the center of Flying Dragon City, but going to that place is meaningless, Wu Profound said. Chen Xiang looked at the girls in the room and gave them a meaningful glance. Wu Profound immediately understood what Chen Xiang meant and told the girls to leave. Chen Xiang wanted to talk about something important with him. Please speak, Wu Profound immediately said. Wu Profound, how's your background strength? Chen Xiang asked. If you want to do bigger business, you should understand that you need to have a strong backer, right? That's true. After all, when doing big business, it is very easy to suppress others and it will affect the interests of other powers. At that time, conflicts will be inevitable. If there is a strong backer, you don't need to worry. Hearing Chen Xiang's question, Wu Profound guessed that Chen Xiang was going to do something even bigger. Then your backer. Chen Xiang asked in a low voice. My backer is very strong, so you don't need to worry about that. I slapped my chest and guarantee that if something happens, no matter what, I won't drag you into it. After all, I signed a contract with you, right? Wu Profound said very confidently. All right, let's do it. Chen Xiang and Wu Profound downed a bowl of soup and laughed. With the Flying Dragon association near at hand, you must also want to get more Dao crystal so that you can condense more law beads, right? Aren't you? Wu Profound laughed. As for me, although I have a backer, my backer only ensures my absolute safety and does not get bullied. However, I cannot provide a large amount of Dao crystal without permission, so I can only rely on myself. Then do you dare to sell law beads? Chen Xiang asked. This was his true goal, to refine and sell law beads, that would earn him more. C 2739. C 2739. Oh? I don't quite understand what you mean. Wu Profound thought about it, then shook his head. The law beads could only be sold after they were formed. There were many shops here that were selling them, and the profound Wu Dan Pavilion himself was selling them, but there were not many of them. What kind of law beads is the best-selling law beads? Chen Xiang did not explain to Wu Profound, but asked a question. Fire rule beads can quickly break through to the Dao God realm. Then there is the thunder law beads which can give people a strong attack. Wu Profound said. These two are relatively easy to sell, and with a low price, the ones with the greatest demand are the thunder law beads. Because many people were relatively poor when they were at the Dao God realm, they could only afford to buy fire rule beads, and in order to enter the Tai Dao realm, they all first cultivated the fire Dao veins, and after entering the Tai Dao realm, they would be strong enough and earn even more Dao crystal, and then they would be able to buy the thunder law beads. Chen Xiang nodded. How many Dao crystal pills? 300,000 one pellet. The price was relatively high, because 100 pills were required to condense a lightning meridian, and that was 3,000 myriad Tao crystals. For Chen Xiang and Wu Profound, 3,000 myriad Tao crystals might not be a lot, but for the majority of people, it was very difficult to earn, and would take at least a few dozen years. Let's put it this way. After the thunder law beads is refined by me, it can hold 5 pills. Chen Xiang said, If you don't believe me, give me a thunder law beads and I will refine it for you. A novel? YB do. Wu Profound was stunned and then, he took a deep breath. So you're saying that the Tianhun Gold Dan was created by you? Chen Xiang nodded. Incredible. This is an extremely high level. I had heard that powerful alchemist could do this before, but it would take some time. I never thought that I would meet one. Wu Profound calculated that if Chen Xiang could refine a thunder law beads, then the power of the ancient code inside would be 5 times that of what it was sold for on the market. Then, the price would also be 5 times that, which would be 150 myriad Tao crystals. In other words, buying a thunder law beads would earn him more than 100 myriad Tao crystals. Then how many pills can you refine in a day? Wu Profound asked. He felt that it would take Chen Xiang a lot of time to refine those 30,000 Tianhun Gold Dan, but Chen Xiang had only refined them for a day. Chen Xiang could earn 9,000 myriad Tao crystals by refining his Tianhun Gold Dan in one day, which was more than enough. If he were to refine law beads he felt that if he used 10 levels, he would be able to refine 20 of them. According to the benefits of thunder law beads, he would only be able to earn 2,000 myriad Tao crystals. This was not a good deal, so he would not choose the thunder law beads. Refining 2 pellets a day is not a problem. Of course, I'm not talking about the thunder law beads, the other rules are also fine. Chen Xiang snickered. The other rules naturally included rare principle. No matter what kind of law beads Chen Xiang refined, the speed would be the same, so if he could refine more valuable laws, then he would earn even more. Wu Profound was so shocked that the bowl in his hands fell on the table. Can rare principle also do it? Wu Profound asked. That's fine too. Chen Xiang nodded and laughed. The law of S.P. A.C., the law of flight. All these are fine. Wu Profound was dumbstruck. The spatial law beads would sell for 300 million one pellet, and 5 would be 5 billion. He would still be able to earn a lot if he sold them for 400 million. He didn't need to sell all of them in one day. It would already be great if he could sell 2 a month. The key now was how he could sell it. Wu Profound finally understood why Chen Xiang was supporting him previously. If he was going to do such a business, it would be impossible for him to not have a strong backing. If I were to really refine it, do you think that this business would be able to be completed? Chen Xiang asked. For now, it's a little difficult. At that time, it will definitely cause a huge uproar. Wu Profound carefully thought about it, then shook his head. If I were a 3 profound realm, that would be more like it. Where's your master? Chen Xiang asked. Can you get him to help? I'm afraid that I will drag you out later. After all, to be able to refine the law beads so quickly, this kind of person will definitely attract attention. Wu Profound sighed helplessly. You don't want to attract attention, and yet want to sell this kind of pill. This is rather difficult. Just sell 2 a month. Chen Xiang said. He still did not tell Wu Profound that he could refine 30,000 Tianhun gold dan every day. If he were to give 30,000 pellets of Wu Profound every day, it would attract attention soon enough. After all, his refining skills were simply too heaven-defying. I have an idea, which is to sell it on the black market. Wu Profound said, but the price will be lower. If there is a flight rule beads with 5 times the power of the law, how many do you think can be sold for 1 Dao crystal on the black market? Chen Xiang asked. 1. 2 billion isn't a problem. Wu Profound thought for a while, then said, Are you sure you want to do this? Just sell one to me for 1 billion and you'll be able to earn as much as you want. That's if you don't expose me. Chen Xiang said, I am sure I need to do it. If you think it is possible, I will go and buy the flight rule beads right now. Chen Xiang's Dao crystal could buy 2. If he refined them and sold them, he would have 2 billion. This was an incomparably huge temptation. Wu Profound felt that he could sell them at least 1 or 200 million on the black market. Selling 2 pills a month to earn 400 million felt like a dream to him. But now there was such an opportunity right in front of him. As a disciple of the Profound Marital School, he naturally knew what earning 400 million in a month represented. This was something that many experts of the 3 Profound realm were unable to accomplish. All right, I'll do it. Wu Profound had already made up his mind. He had been humiliated in the Profound Marital School, and now there was a good chance for him to be proud and proud. Let's sign a contract that does not betray each other. Chen Xiang smiled and said, I have some concerns. I ask for your understanding. No problem. Wu Profound readily agreed. He was also worried that he would be tricked by Chen Xiang. Just like this, Chen Xiang and Wu Profound signed a blood contract, and then, he gave Wu Profound 600 million Dao crystal and told him to buy 2 pellet. Flight rule beads were relatively easy to sell within the rare principle. If one could fly, it was much more convenient and could even protect one's life. Chen Xiang had already returned to the Profound Wu Dan Pavilion with Wu Profound. Wu Profound was also staying there, as it was also a very safe place. I can refine it by dawn. You can have the law beads tomorrow morning. Chen Xiang entered a secret room. Wu Profound was excited and shocked. He felt that Chen Xiang was able to refine 2 of these in one night. His pill refining skills were heaven-defying. He was stronger than the old alchemist inside the Profound Marital School. He and Chen Xiang had signed a secret blood contract with each other, so he couldn't speak carelessly about this kind of thing. While the sky was still dark, he went to the black market to ask around. C2740. C2740, when returned to Profound Wu Dan Pavilion at daybreak, he had long refined those 2 law beads. He had only used 4 hours at most, which was an extremely easy task for him. When Wu Profound took the 2 law beads and held them in his hands, he could feel the strong power of the ancient code inside them. Previously, he didn't believe that there was 5 times the power of the ancient code inside, but now, he was sure that what Chen Xiang said was true. I was in the black market last night and I've asked around. This can sell for at least 1 billion Dao crystals, and some buyers even offered 2 billion. However, they have to see the goods first. Wu Profound couldn't help but feel excited when he saw the 2 law beads. This was something that was worth more than 2 billion Dao crystal. He had never obtained such a precious thing before. I only want 2 billion, you can have the extra. Chen Xiang had already mentioned it to him before, and they even made a blood contract with each other. He wasn't worried that Wu Profound would run away with the law beads. Although Wu Profound could obtain a lot, but he had a certain level of risk, because selling this kind of thing could easily attract attention. If he was not careful and got targeted, as for what the consequences would be, even he himself was not sure. In short, he felt that at most, he would just run back into the Profound marital school to hide. His master was still very strong. Just wait here for my good news. Wu Profound laughed mischievously, and then, wearing a human skin mask with a very high degree of imitation, he turned himself into a middle-aged man and left the Profound Wu Dan pavilion in a soft voice. Chen Xiang returned to the secret room and refined the Tianhun Gold Dan. I am only at the 3rd level of the Tai Dao realm now. My spirit of the Dao Ji ODS is not strong enough, and the Dao energy I release is limited. As long as I have a strong spirit of the Dao Ji ODS, I can continuously release that powerful primitive Tao power. Chen Xiang's primitive Tao power needed a very strong spirit of the Dao Ji ODS to support it, if not he would have to release ordinary Dao energy. Spirit of the Dao Ji ODS was the source of his current strength, especially when using rare principle. He consumed even more energy. Furthermore, his 10-layered profound gates were all open, and if he did not have enough Dao energy, his opened profound gates would only be wasted. Every time Chen Xiang finished refining a pellet of Tianhun Gold Dan that had gone through a collision process, he would come out to see if Wu Profound had returned. He waited until midnight before Wu Profound returned. How is it? I'm so worried. Seeing that Wu Profound had returned, Chen Xiang heaved a sigh of relief. He was worried that Wu Profound would be killed and robbed. It's not too bad, you can count the 2 billion Dao crystal. Wu Profound chuckled. Chen Xiang took it and looked. There were indeed 2 billion Dao crystal inside, and in just a few days, he had already made a profit of this much. How much did you sell? Chen Xiang nodded his head in satisfaction. 200 million and 30 million. Those guys on the black market all have very powerful backgrounds. They could easily sell for more than 5 billion. Wu Profound said. After those fellows used some tools to strengthen themselves, they confirmed that this law beads is equal to 5 times the normal amount. Chen Xiang laughed. We will wait until next month before we sell it. It is easy to attract attention if we sell it every day. It is not a good thing for us. I know. Wu Profound nodded his head. I will go rest first and think about how to spend these Dao crystal. Although Wu Profound wasn't very tired, he had been very agitated these past 2 days. He needed to adjust his condition now. Chen Xiang returned to his room and continued refining his Tianhun Gold Dan. My current limit is only 5 times stronger than before. If I were to raise my strength, I would be able to use the crash method to make even more attacks. After Chen Xiang ate the Tianhun Gold Dan, while the Tianhun Gold Dan refined itself, he controlled the furnace to refine pills. Within a month's time, Chen Xiang had risen to the 6th level of Tai Dao realm. He felt that stepping into the heaven realm at the very beginning of Flying Dragon A.S. association wasn't a problem. In the meantime, He gave 600 million Tao crystal to Wu Profound and had Wu Profound buy them for him to refine. Because of the transaction from last time, it was very easy for Wu Profound to sell it to the seller in the black market. After eliminating the cost of buying the law beads, Chen Xiang earned another one. 4 billion Tao crystal. Wu Profound also earned quite a lot. At this time, he was inviting Chen Xiang to Drunken Fragrance in to relax. He had yet to figure out how to use those Tao crystal. Wu Profound, do the God Beast sect of Flying Dragon Pag. Oh, do fight frequently? Chen Xiang was from the Divine Beast sect, so he knew more about these things than Yi Chong did before. There won't be any big battles, but small conflicts among some of the disciples are unavoidable. Small fights like this are quite common. Wu Profound said, forget about the contradictions that the sects have only seen, even within the inner sect, there are countless of them. This is also the reason why I do not wish to stay in there. Wu Profound was a disciple of the Profound Marital School, and had a successor disciple as his master. Chen Xiang, you can't be thinking of entering those sects, right? With your own abilities, there's no need to go back in. The only reason I joined the sect was to learn the divine arts and such. Wu Profound said, don't go in and look for trouble, it's not good. Wu Profound immediately shook his head. He had experienced it before, so he was using experienced people to advise Chen Xiang. He felt that someone like Chen Xiang, who could easily earn Tao crystal, would not even need to enter those sections. I'm just asking. Chen Xiang laughed. I have met with this kind of place before, so from what you said, I am quite clear about it. Wu Profound said, Chen Xiang, if I am to cultivate rare principle, can you help me refine some law beads? I will pay you back for your hard work. Of course you can, but you can't secretly sell it behind my back. Chen Xiang said. Definitely not. We can sign the contract. After Wu Profound finished speaking, he signed a blood contract with Chen Xiang. Right, is there anyone here who cultivates ASPAC Tao vein? When Chen Xiang was in the Myriad Tao City before, he heard that very few people cultivated spatial Tao veins. Even if they managed to cultivate it, they would only be able to teleport a very short distance. It would require a very large amount of energy and would not be used at all, but the SPAC Tao channels would require a large number of Tao crystal S to be formed. Chen Xiang wanted to see if this was the case too. Right now, his heart was also at a loss, afraid that even after he cultivates a spatial Tao, it would not be of much use. Very little. There are almost none. How could someone possibly cultivate a useless spatial Tao meridian? Wu Profound shook his head. A long time ago, there was a guy who didn't believe in evil that went to cultivate. In the end, didn't he just cry himself to death? After painstakingly cultivating for so long, he came up with a new Tao meridian, and thought that he could instantly travel through SPAC. Who would have imagined that he was only able to teleport 10 steps or so? But the cost is still enormous. Chen Xiang never thought that the Flying Dragon Pag would also be in such a situation. I probably won't do that, because I have a spatial profound door. Furthermore, all of my dimensional profound doors are open, and the spirit of the Tao Gods is created using the primitive Tao power. It can provide an extremely strong power that can trigger the spatial laws, so I should be able to teleport a bit further away. Just as Chen Xiang was deep in thought, the drunken fragrance suddenly shook, causing the object on the table to jump. What's going on? Someone fighting here? He had quite the guts. Hurry up and take a look. Wu Profound gloated while laughing. C2741. C2741. After Chen Xiang finished his meal, he curled his lips and followed Wu Profound downstairs. At this time, many people were the same. The commotion just now was so huge, startling many people. When he reached the first floor, Chen Xiang heard a loud noise. Little girl, how dare you cause trouble at our place? Just because of what you did just now, you can't even afford to spend 10,000 years to pay for it. A middle-aged woman said angrily. Her body was emitting an imposing manner and was not weak at all. Quickly hand my sister over, or I'll destroy this drunken fragrance in right now. Chen Xiang heard a very familiar voice, and looked outside the door, to see that it was a woman wearing a mask, and it was actually Jiang Sime. Why was Jiang Sime here? Didn't Feng Ruxue say that she was brought to a mysterious place by the Grandma Jiang? The mysterious place was actually the Flying Dragon Pag. Oh, duh. Chen Xiang didn't understand, because Flying Dragon Pag. Oh, duh only appeared after the compet. 1. Tian, and it wasn't easy for Grandma Jiang to bring the two of them to the 100th floor. Your sister has been chosen by the young master of our drunken fragrance tower, and we have even offered you a price. Is 1,000 myriad Tao crystals not enough? If it wasn't for our young master being interested in your sister, would your sister be able to sell them for 1,000 myriad Tao crystals? Not even 1,000,000 people want it. The middle-aged woman said. Chen Xiang was really furious in his heart. Drunken Fragrance Pavilion was obviously trying to buy it by force, and it was even trying to buy someone, and the person who did so was Chen Xiang's good friend. Jiang Xijing, this kind of beautiful woman, was actually sold. First, last time, Chen Xiang was instantly infuriated. He wanted to go over and kill the middle-aged woman with a single slash. Wu Profound, is the young master of Drunken Fragrance Pavilion here too? Chen Xiang anxiously asked Wu Profound. As matters stood, the most important thing was to save Jiang Xijing. At the top. We were just eating at the top floor, what business do you have with him? Wu Profound said. Let's go, quickly. Chen Xiang said, the woman that guy bought is my friend. When Wu Profound heard it, without saying a word, he rushed to the top floor with Chen Xiang. This is the residence of that young master, Wu Profound said, and kicked the door open, since the people around him did not know that he was the one who did it. Chen Xiang immediately rushed in, released the Dao Heart Eye, and quickly saw Jiang Xijing, who was trapped in a secret room. She's here. Chen Xiang pointed to the secret room. Wu Profound took out a long sword, and with a few thrusts, he destroyed the door of the secret room, and then kicked it open. When Chen Xiang saw Jiang Xijing's face was filled with fear. When she first saw Chen Xiang, she thought that she had seen wrongly, and when she confirmed that it was Chen Xiang's qi, she immediately pounced on him. Elder brother Shen. Jiang Xijing began to cry. She had been through a lot these past few days. That guy didn't do anything to you, did he? Chen Xiang patted her back and asked gently. No, I threatened him with death. He did not dare to do anything to me. Jiang Xijing hugged Chen Xiang tightly. Rest well. Your sister is still down there. I'll go down now. Chen Xiang placed Jiang Xijing inside the Yu Yao Mountain Villa. Jiang Xijing was very familiar with the Yu Yao Mountain Villa. She had stayed inside for a period of time and liked the environment inside. Chen Xiang, hurry up and go down. That lady might not be able to hold off the people from Drunken Fragrance Pavilion, said. No matter what, he would help Chen Xiang. With Chen Xiang's power, he had earned almost 1 billion Dao crystal. If he was willing to pay 100 million, a lot of people would rush to help him shovel the Drunken Fragrance Pavilion away. Chen Xiang immediately went downstairs and fought with the middle-aged woman. The first floor of Drunken Fragrance Pavilion was already in a mess. Chen Xiang observed carefully and discovered that there were a lot of experts in Drunken Fragrance all of them were from the Heaven Realm. What surprised him was that Jiang Sime was also from the Heaven Realm, and was using an extremely berserk law of death and the Dragon Law to suppress the middle-aged woman. Impressive, this girl should be in the early stage of Heaven Realm, and the Drunken Fragrance Madam is in the middle stage of the Divine Sky Realm. To actually be suppressed, this is unreasonable. Miss Mask's rules are rare principle, 300 million Dragon Law rule beads per pellet. Seems like she has cultivated the Tao of Dragon Meridian. This requires 30 billion Tao crystal. The drunken fragrance madam has kicked a metal board this time. Is what you said true? Don't scare me. To be able to cultivate a dragon meridian worth 30 billion while being at the early heavenly God stage, this is... What is the background of this girl? Wu Profound could guess a little. He felt that Chen Xiang must have helped him, because Chen Xiang could refine law beads. Thinking about it now, he also felt excited, because it wouldn't be long before he could cultivate rare principle, so no matter what, he had to build a good relations. Hi+P with Chen Xiang. Young master, quickly save me! Drunken fragrance old procuress suddenly shouted, and a young man rushed in from outside. Tao of Dragon Meridians. When the young master drunken fragrance sensed the violent primal dragon chi, his heart was shocked. However, he still made his move. After all, someone was causing trouble for him. Seeing this, Wu Profound jumped over with the sword in his hand, and slashed towards the throat of the old procuress, chopping her head off. Wu Profound, you're crazy. Seeing that, the young master was enraged, and then he rushed towards Wu Profound. You're the crazy one, SNATC, Hing my daughter, I just can't bear to see you do it. Wu Profound sneered. Wu Profound was rather famous here. Usually, he wouldn't have to pay the bill when he came to Drunken Fragrance Inn, because the owner of Drunken Fragrance Inn had given him a free ticket, and because his master was a successor disciple, he was someone worth fawning over. Chen Xiang immediately sent a sound transmission to Jiang Sime. Mimi, it's me. Xijing has already been saved by me, you don't have to worry. Wu Profound let Chen Xiang go first and reunited with him at Profound Wu Dan Pavilion. Chen Xiang had already went outside the door, and Jiang Sime had also followed him out. The fight inside the intoxicated and was extremely heated. Chen Xiang did not have the strength to continue watching, and furthermore, Jiang Xijing was already safe. He believed that Wu Profound would definitely give the young master a painful lesson. Jiang Sime was very shocked. He never thought that Chen Xiang would actually come to this place. Outside, Jiang Sime took out a pearl and shook it in front of Chen Xiang. Is this a justice law beads? I'm fine. Chen Xiang could not help but laugh, but he was secretly surprised. This was because Jiang Sime actually had a righteous law beads, which meant that she knew about the affairs of the myriad Tao Mausoleum S. Chen Xiang brought Jiang Sime to stroll around the streets, shaking off a few people who were following them. Then they arrived at the Profound Wu Dan Pavilion. Why do you have such a righteous law beads? Chen Xiang frowned. He had Jiang Xijing come out of Yu Yao Mountain Villa. The moment Jiang Xijing came out, she hugged her big sister and didn't cry anymore. She had already been saved, and they had even met Chen Xiang. Grandma gave us. This is a long story. Jiang Sime sighed. It could be seen that when she was taken away by the Grandma Jiang, she had many stories. When Grandma went to look for Shui Yunxiong, she suddenly met an old acquaintance. This old acquaintance is Grandma's junior brother and is also one of the 3 heroes of Myriad Tao. However, while Grandma and this old acquaintance was chatting, he suddenly attacked Grandma. Fortunately, Grandma has a very powerful protective divine artifact on her body, which prevented her from getting injured. Later on, she also guessed a few things. She knew that Shui Yunxiong had been possessed by the evil soul, and when you went to look for him again, she believed that you would definitely suffer, so she lied and said that she would bring us to look for someone. At that time, she was also worried that Ru Shui had been carried by the evil soul, so she didn't tell Ru Shui. C-2742. C-2742 Chen Xiang nodded after hearing what Jiang Sime had said. In that situation, it was understandable for Grandma Jiang to be worried that he would be carried away by the evil soul and then return to harm the Meijing sisters. After she left the city, she found an old friend. Her old friend used the ancient transmission array. He used up a lot of Tao crystal and teleported us here. Only when Grandma came here did she tell us what had happened. Jiang Sijing patted Chen Xiang's head, as if he was a child. How could I be all right? Chen Xiang pinched her face and laughed. What about Ruoxue? Jiang Sime asked. How is she? After spending a while with Feng Ruoxue, Jiang Sime had already become his close friend. Back then, when Grandma Jiang said that Feng Ruoxue might be tricked, she was very sad as well. She's fine. She and I almost fell for it. After that, Chen Xiang told the Mei Jing sisters what happened to him. The two sisters had been here for a while now. After coming here, Grandma Jiang had thought of ways to raise their cultivation to the early stage of the divine sky realm, then abandon them here to do something important by himself. Your grandma is really mysterious. Chen Xiang sighed. To think that you would know someone who can teleport you all here, it would be very difficult for me to come here. She also used a lot of Dao crystal. Jiang Sijing said. In fact, all the old guys at the Seven Great Villa know the way to come here. They will come soon, but they aren't the strongest here, and their tricks can easily be seen through. They can't do anything about it. Jiang Sime said. Will those evil souls be seen through? The 7 great villas that they belong to all correspond to the 7 divine beast sects here. Chen Xiang said. They should be seen through. However, if they want to enter the 7 God beast sects, they must first hand over a certain number of Dao crystal. It's not that easy to get in. Jiang Sime said. Right, who was that man with you? Jiang Sijing asked curiously. His name is Wu Profound. It's my partner here. Chen Xiang said with a smile, then he told them about his cooperation with Wu Profound in a simple manner. In the past, Jiang Sime and Chen Xiang had cooperated, but since they had come here, Jiang Sime's strength was limited, so he was unable to help Chen Xiang. It was all thanks to the dragon laurel beads that Chen Xiang gave her that she was able to suppress the middle stage of the heaven realm this year, allowing her to cultivate and gain an extremely strong power. Talk to Wu Profound and ask him if I can do something in this shop. I'm also an alchemist, so refining some pills shouldn't be a problem. Jiang Sime said. Of course you can. How about this? I still have some medicinal herbs, you two sisters can work together. Chen Xiang said. If you need rare principal pearls, come and find me. Jiang Sime did not want to rely too much on Chen Xiang, since she already had the Dragon Path meridians. Her need for Dao Crystal S was not much, but she wanted to find something to do. When Wu Profound returned, looking at his smiling face, he knew that had handled the matter well. What did you do to that guy? Chen Xiang laughed. After a fierce beating, even if he doesn't die, he'll still be crippled. If his father hadn't come to plead for mercy, I would have been even more ruthless. Wu Profound said, that old procuress was not that lucky. Back then, she was the one who kidnapped this lady, right? Jiang Sijing was not as strong as her elder sister, and she was also a relatively simple type of person, so it wasn't strange that she was tricked and taken away. Well, they're bad. Jiang Sijing nodded. The old procuress has been killed, and it was the owner of Drunken Fragrance Inn who did it. Wu Profound said, Is this result satisfactory for the young lady? It's enough, I can't thank you enough. Jiang Sime cupped his fists towards Wu Profound. Sijing is fine now. You're welcome, you're Chen Xiang's friends. Wu Profound laughed. He felt that the relations Hi+P between Chen Xiang and the twins was definitely not ordinary. Wu Profound, I have something to tell you. Just a moment ago, Jiang Sime said that he wanted to stay and do things. When Chen Xiang mentioned it, he patted his chest and agreed. Previously, when he bought 30,000 Tianhun gold Dan S from Chen Xiang, he received a lot of attention from the profound Wu Dan Pavilion. When Wu Profound first came to the central region, he felt that it was easier to mix with the profound Wu Dan Pavilion S there since their compet. 1. Tiveness wasn't very high. As expected, it was as he had expected. Chen Xiang had already decided that before the Flying Dragon A.S. Association started, He would cultivate and break through spatial channels. He had already found out some details about the Flying Dragon Association and thought that they might have to fight to the death. There were so many people in the Flying Dragon Pag. Oh, das 100 floors, yet so few managed to get a placing, so the compet. 1. Tian would definitely be huge. Just like this, Chen Xiang continued to refine Tianhun Gold Dan S to increase his cultivation, and then, he would refine 2 every month for Wu Profound to sell. During this period of time, Wu Profound had also taken a few pieces of the black tortoise law beads for him to refine. The Xuanwu law beads was activated by the Xuanwu divine beast, and after cultivating, it would possess the power of Xuanwu, which was mainly suitable for the disciples of Profound Marital School. These were also the 300 million Dao Crystal S. In merely 5 months, Chen Xiang had already gathered 20 spatial law bead. He had told Wu Profound to buy all of these. In these 5 months, he had also reached the 10th level of the Tai Dao realm, and was only a hair away from entering it. And entering the heaven realm was relatively difficult. Even with the help of pills, it was difficult. There was no discount if he was buying law beads here. Chen Xiang had bought 6 billion Dao crystal here. If it was in Myriad Tao City, he would have been able to buy it with less than 2 billion. However, Jiang Sime had told him that the Grandma Jiang had said that after this Myriad Tao's divine steel was tormented, its lifespan would decrease and would quickly disappear. At that time, the people of the Myriad Tao City would think of ways to come here. I can finally start refining. I can refine 20 law beads in a day. I wonder what will happen if I manage to open a new meridian. Chen Xiang was looking forward to see that if he could teleport here, he would be able to do a lot of things, and at the same time be safer. He had previously asked Wu Profound before, but many of the rankers here didn't cultivate in spatial laws, so they were definitely unable to teleport or even seal SPAC. Even if his opponents were strong in the future, he was confident in killing them. Of course, this was on the premise that he could use the power of SPAC as he had expected. After a few days, he successfully cultivated the spatial Dao vein. He secretly tested the strength of the primitive Tao power in the secret room, and released the primitive Tao power from the spirit of the Dao Gods. Then, he sent it through the spatial Dao vein to the spatial profound door, urging the power of SPAC. Teleport. Chen Xiang immediately teleported from one end of the secret room to the other. It's a success. Chen Xiang was incomparably excited. After being in the divine wasteland for so long, he had finally teleported once more. It had been a long time since he was this excited. Although it was a success, Chen Xiang found a lot of problems. The energy of SPAC is indeed consumed much more. Fortunately, I can teleport, and I'm not too far away. I can teleport at least 3,000 meters away. Chen Xiang was already very satisfied with the distance. As long as he could teleport thousands of meters in an instant, he could enter and leave many places. Even if he met with danger, he could quickly escape. After that, he used the teleportation technique to retrieve objects and other spatial techniques, allowing him to freely use them. Looks like I need to cultivate a new Dao Meridian. This will allow me to use the power of SPAC here like a fish in water. Because Chen Xiang had the foundation of a spatial profound door, after he had cultivated a spatial Dao vein, he was different from many people here. From the very beginning, people in the divine wasteland would not be able to use the power of SPAC, so no one would cultivate in a spatial profound door. And Chen Xiang was previously training in the natural law divine realm, so he laid down such a foundation. See 2743. See 2743. After cultivating the spatial Dao vein, Chen Xiang finally felt a bit of safety, and now he dared to work even more boldly. I have to go out and try. After Chen Xiang came out of seclusion, He went to find Wu Profound and asked him how he was going to get to the 101st floor. You want to go to the upper level? Why are you going there? Wu Profound asked. I just want to take a look. Could it be that that floor is very dangerous? Chen Xiang heard that there weren't any dragon beast on this level, which was why he wanted to go to the upper level. As for the 99 floors below, they were filled with meteorite. I am certain of the danger. If you go with your current cultivation level, it will be a bit inappropriate. Why don't I touch you? I am at the late stage of the heaven realm anyway. Wu Profound laughed. Chen Xiang already knew that Wu Profound was at the late stage of the divine sky realm. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to defeat the young master of Drunken Fragrance Pavilion so easily. No need, I'll go myself. Don't forget that I'm an alchemist. Chen Xiang laughed mischievously. Wu Profound immediately remembered that since Chen Xiang could refine law beads, he must definitely cultivate in a rare and powerful rule Dao line. I'm just worried that you might get hurt. Since you think that's okay, then go and take a look. Wu Profound nodded. Oh right, Wu Profound, do you know the disciples of Azure Dragon School? I heard that they are very powerful. Chen Xiang asked. When he came here, he immediately knew Yichong. Yichong's brother was injured by that disciple. When was in Flying Dragon A.S. Association, he said that he wanted to fight to the death with that disciple, so Chen Xiang felt that he had to help Yichong. After all, Yichong was a decent, honest person. Hearing Chen Xiang talk about the disciples of the Azure Dragon School, Wu Profound's face slightly changed. This fellow is very powerful, very terrifying. All of the sects are extremely surprised that he is able to become their disciple, because the reputation of the Azure Dragon School is not bad, but the current disciple is a sinister and ruthless person. Wu Profound shook his head. Disciple here means that in the future, he will take over the entire sect, and there's a very high possibility for him to become a leader. If such a person were to become the leader, it would be an extremely terrifying matter. Isn't he at the late stage of the heaven realm? You are also at the late stage of the heaven realm, so your strength should be comparable to him, but you seem to be very afraid of him. Chen Xiang said. Since they were both at the late stage of the heaven realm, the difference between them shouldn't be too big. Wu Profound shook his head. Other than needing to comprehend, heaven realm still needs law beads to cultivate. The difference between the initial, middle, and late stages of heaven realm is really because of the 3 profound divine junctures. 3 profound divine junctures. Chen Xiang had heard that the heaven realm mainly required one to open 3 profound entrances. As long as he could open one, he would be able to enter the heaven realm. The heaven realm opens up the 3 profound divine junctures, and after it comes the 3 profound realm. The main thing is to cultivate the 3 profound divine junctures, and the 3 profound realm also consumes a lot of law bead. Wu Profound saw that Chen Xiang had a face full of doubt and said, Let me tell you something then. I really don't know what's going on with you. Even though your pill forging is incredible, you don't know a thing about cultivation. You are now at the 10th level of the Tai Dao realm, and have already cultivated the spirit of the Dao Gods to the maximum, and the next thing to do is to strengthen the spirit of the Dao Gods, and unearth the power of the spirit of the Dao Gods, allowing the spirit of the Dao Gods to release even more Dao energy in one breath. This way, when we use Dao energy, we can instantly use more Dao energy, and our power will also become stronger. How much stronger? Chen Xiang asked. Right now, he also felt that the bottleneck they had to face was not enough primitive Tao power S, even though he could transform into an even stronger profound door based on the ancient code and rule Dao line. However, spirit of the Dao Gods was, after all, the source of every power. Under normal circumstances, the difference between the 10th stage of the Tai Dao realm and the initial stage of the heaven realm would be 10 times, and the difference between the early and middle stage of the heaven realm would be 10 times, while the difference between the middle and late stage is still 10 times. Hearing that, Chen Xiang's face changed slightly. Doesn't that mean that there's 1,000 times difference in strength between you and me now? Of course not, I was talking about the usual case. If the Gate of Wonders is really big, or if there is a strong and rare rule Dao line, the difference between you and I can be shortened to 100 times. Chen Xiang curled his lips. So that means you're much, much, much stronger than me. Wu Profound laughed. That's right, although my strength is thousands of times stronger than you, my ability is far inferior to yours. I work for you every day, I am your subordinate. How do I open the 3 profound divine junctures? Chen Xiang asked. So you're saying, this will depend on luck and perception. Wu Profound sighed. There are some who can't break through to the late stage of heaven realm even after they reach the early stage of cultivation very quickly. This is fate. There are 3 divine entrances within the spirit of the Tao Gods, which are known as the 3 profound divine junctures. When I opened one of the profound entrances, the amount of Tao energy that surged out of the spirit of the Tao Gods was more than 10 times that of before. Chen Xiang understood quite a bit and said, after clearing 3 profound Gods, you should be able to reach the late stage of the heaven realm. Don't you think that there are no pills that can help you to open the 3 profound divine junctures? No, I've never heard of any miraculous medicine that could help me. But at this stage, eating law beads can help me understand the key to clearing 3 profound divine junctures, and every person's situation is different. I also ate a lot of law beads to succeed. Wu Profound said. Furthermore, you have to eat those that are very expensive, and the help will be great. Since you can refine law beads, it shouldn't be a problem. Wu Profound felt that Chen Xiang would only be able to break through sooner or later. After all, he knew how to refine pills and he could earn a lot of Tao crystal. Will I be able to break through? I'm very worried about getting stuck in this heaven realm. Chen Xiang laughed bitterly. Well, it's hard to say. The son of the leader from the White Tiger sect was stuck here for too many years, laughed at by others for so many years, then committed suicide. The White Tiger leader expended a lot of resources, but in the end, none of them succeeded. Don't scare me. Chen Xiang pretended to be terrified. I really am not trying to scare you. To tell you the truth, one of my big brother was like this, watching as the people beside him continuously broke through heaven realm, and he kept on walking, until he finally had to leave his family. It was really too hard to endure in that kind of environment. Using law beads can help me comprehend. If I don't understand the way to open profound Gods, then law beads will just be wasting their time. Chen Xiang couldn't understand this point. If the law beads is fused with the spirit of the Tao Gods, it can strengthen the spirit of the Tao Gods and make it stronger. This can forcefully extract more Tao energy when you really need it, and can increase your strength by quite a bit. Wu Profound said, when you're training, I'll understand for myself. Chen Xiang had a fairly good understanding of the heaven realm now, so he decided to wait for him to personally go and cultivate for a while. He would leave the profound Wu Dan Pavilion and head towards the 101st floor. C-2744. C-2744. There was not much time until the Flying Dragon Association begin. Chen Xiang calculated that there were still 4 to 5 months left, and felt that it would be beneficial for him to acquire even more strength. After flying for 2 days, Chen Xiang arrived at the end of the stairs. At this time, there were also people who had entered the upper level, but they were all people from the heaven realm. The reason why Chen Xiang was hiding at the upper level was mainly to test how much he could use the spatial power. He intended to coordinate with the spatial power and then fight with the powerful dragon beast, in order to quickly familiarize himself with the battle experience of the spatial power that he was currently controlling. Because the spatial laws that he controlled were different from before, the speed and consumption of his teleportation was vastly different from when he was in natural law divine realm. In order to familiarize himself with the current power of the SPAC laws, he had to practice it several times in actual combat. Only then would he be able to use the power of the SPAC laws more proficiently. Arriving at the upper level, Chen Xiang memorized the location where he was going down and then flew towards a certain direction, towards the desolate mountains and plains. He was going to look for the dragon beast to fight with. There were too many people on the 100th floor, so the living quarters of the dragon beast were all occupied. As a result, in order to search for the dragon beast, one could only search for it on the higher or lower floor. There were also lower floors, but it would take them a long time to find anything. Chen Xiang came up from below, so he knew about it. The reason why he chose to go to the higher floors was because he wanted to fight the stronger dragon beast, and the lower-level dragon beast were weaker, so they could not activate his transformation ability. Chen Xiang flew into a forest, and the trees inside were all tall and ancient trees, which weren't too dense. This kind of place was very suitable for living in Dragon Beast, and such a terrain was relatively common in Flying Dragon Pag. Oda. There aren't many Dragon Beast in the 101st level. After all, leaning on the 100th level makes it easier for humans to come here. This way, the Dragon Beast would be killed and run away. Chen Xiang thought as he flew above the forest. After entering the forest, he suddenly discovered that there were dragon beasts' footprints on the ground. It's a big guy. Chen Xiang was overjoyed. From the footprints, he could tell that it was a dragon beast with huge, sharp claws. This kind of footprint is usually of the ape type. Being able to find a dragon and tiger should have good luck. Chen Xiang had thought of purchasing the dragon beast's corpse before, and then extracting the dragon's strength from it to refine it into a dragon laurel bead. It was just that previously, when his cultivation was too high, the refining process would be much slower. He felt that if he could break through to the heaven realm and use dragon beast to refine dragon laurel beads, the speed would be much faster. He could earn 600 million after refining it. He felt that if he used the dragon beast's corpse to refine a dragon laurel beads, it might only require 100 million or even less Dao crystal to refine one pill, and he could earn an extra 200 to 300 million. The dragon tiger isn't bad either. Its strength is one of the stronger dragon beasts. I'll try my best sneak attack first. Chen Xiang followed the footprints on the ground and quietly flew through the forest. Dragon Tiger was currently eating a dragon pig. It was extremely BLOODY, and dragon beast killing each other was a very common sight. It's a dragon and tiger with golden armor. I heard that the strength of this kind of dragon and tiger is usually at the middle stage of the heaven realm. I wonder if I can succeed in ambush. Plus-ing them. Chen Xiang held his breath, and upon maintaining a certain distance from the dragon tiger, he immediately teleported over. At the same time, he released his heavenly magic sword and fiercely swung it down. Chen Xiang hurriedly put away the corpse of the dragon tiger and half of the dragon boar into the chuangs. HI+GO. Furnace S was ecstatic to be able to kill this dragon and tiger in an instant. He used all his strength to teleport away and left that place. The distance is about 3,000 feet. That's not bad. Although the consumption is high, it can still be within the acceptable range. Chen Xiang had already used the limit of teleportation just now. He then used the SPAC wind to travel with the wind. Although his speed was not as fast as the speed in natural law divine realm, it was still many times faster than flying here. The consumption is great, it seems I have to use it carefully. Chen Xiang didn't expect that just a few moments would cause him to float along with the wind for more than 10 m, which was much faster than teleportation. In the next few days, he killed dozens of dragon beasts. Some of the later stage Heaven Realm's dragon beast were all killed by his sneak attack. There are also Heaven Realm-s among those evil souls. If I use this method to launch a sneak attack, I will definitely succeed. Chen Xiang did not want others to know that he had such a high level of spatial energy. This was because although the people here could cultivate the spatial Tao, they were unable to control the spatial laws. The strongest person in the evil soul should be the 6G ODS stage. The 6G ODS stage is above the 3 profound realm. I am not a match for him right now, so I must stay far away from him. Although Chen Xiang was only at the 10th level of the ancient Tao, he had an incomparably sharp heavenly magic sword. At the same time, he had cultivated 3 types of rare Tao veins, namely the spatial Tao vein, the flight Tao vein, and the dragon Tao vein, which were worth 30 billion. This was an increase in strength. Of course, if he could not use the heavenly magic sword and the spatial Tao vein, his strength would also be greatly reduced. Usually, he would not use these during formal matches. It's time to go back. Chen Xiang reaped quite a lot from this trip, allowing him to regain the feeling of controlling the power of the spatial laws back then. In order to reduce his energy consumption, he only flew. He did not use teleportation or SPAC wind. After flying for several hours, he suddenly sensed a familiar aura. Isn't this Big Brother Yi? Chen Xiang had secretly watched Yi Chong fight with his master before, and he had memorized Yi Chong's aura at that time. At the moment, he was flying in the air. He did not hear the sounds of battle, but he could feel Yi Chong's qi, which meant that Yi Chong was engaged in an intense battle. He immediately followed Yi Chong's qi and flew over, only to see a few tens of people watching the battle from afar. The battlefield was quite far away from them because the aftermath of a battle of this level was very strong. Who are these people? Chen Xiang saw that the people watching the battle were all young men and women wearing luxurious clothing. They were not ordinary people, and all of them had extremely sharp auras, and were all extremely powerful people. There are many in the middle and late stages of Heaven Realm. Chen Xiang exclaimed in his heart. Could it be that the disciples of the famous sects are gathered here, but why is Brother Yi here? Boom! A thunder-like sound echoed out. Chen Xiang looked in the direction of the voice. From that direction, a person was flying horizontally towards him. That person let out a sorrowful and angry roar, and was then struck down by someone who suddenly appeared above him. Brother Yi has been beaten down. The person who attacked him was very fast and had an extremely strong jumping ability. He instantly jumped above Brother Yi and knocked him to the ground. Chen Xiang saw that person. He was dressed in green with a dragon pattern on it. This was obviously the attire of the Azure Dragon School. C-2745. C-2745. After confirming it was Yi Chong, Chen Xiang immediately teleported over, and at the same time, revealed his true form. After grabbing onto the ground, he heavily injured Yi Chong, jumped up, and left the place. The instant he left his original spot, a streak of cyan lightning struck down from the skies. The body of the youth who had attacked Yi Chong earlier swiftly shot downwards, his feet stepping on the ground. Boom! The young man landed on the ground, but did not step on Yi Chong. The berserk thunder power erupted, blasting a huge pit there. The moment Chen Xiang appeared, everyone noticed him. The young man who was falling from the sky was also very surprised, but he was too late. He had already attacked, so he wasted his last powerful attack. Right now, Chen Xiang was being surrounded by a group of people, and when they saw Chen Xiang appearing, they immediately rushed over to surround him. Big Brother Yi, are you alright? Chen Xiang looked at Yi Chong, who was covered in blood, and shouted lightly, ignoring the people who surrounded him. Brother, why did you save me? I am truly sorry. Yi Chong looked at Chen Xiang, who had a low cultivation level and was surrounded by the strong youths, and felt grief and indignation in his heart. He felt that he would definitely kill Chen Xiang. Big brother, he also helped me in the past. You thought highly of me when you took me to Flying Dragon City, so I treated you as a friend and a brother. Chen Xiang smiled at Yichong. Equals 1 equals Ben equals read equals fiction equals, bro. Yichong shouted in grief, you will die. I have long been prepared to die. Qin profound, this brother of mine doesn't have any grudges with you, let him go. Humph, he saved you. I don't want to kill this nuisance, but I want to teach him a lesson. This man was short and handsome, but his face was full of viciousness and ruthlessness. Chen Xiang had thought that the youth who was fighting with Yichong was the head disciple of the Azure Dragon School, but he never expected that it wasn't him. The young man who spoke just now was the one. Chen Xiang also noticed that there were more dragons embroidered on Qin Profound's green clothes, which made him look a lot more domineering. Fan Qing, quickly kill this fellow. You actually want to sneak attack me. By the way, don't let him die too comfortably. Qin Profound said coldly and ruthlessly. His sinister gaze carried a kind of antic. 1p Asian. It seemed that he really liked it when people watched him die. With me here, don't even think of touching a single hair on my big brother's head. Chen Xiang said coldly, looking at Fan Qing who was about to fight, the young man who was fighting with Yichong just now. When the others heard Chen Xiang's words, they could not help but be shocked. Everyone here could tell that Chen Xiang was only at the 10th layer of Tai Dao. Ordinary Heaven Realm people would be able to sense the aura of the profound G.O.D. on other people, so they were very sure that Chen Xiang had not stepped into the Heaven Realm. For someone with a cultivation at the 10th level of the Tai Dao realm to appear at this level was already rather unexpected, but now he even had to protect Yichong. Bro. Yichong felt very upset. He had originally wanted to fight Qin Profound with his life on the line, but he hadn't thought that it would implicate Chen Xiang. Alright then, you go first. Something like you, I want to see just how capable you are in preserving this trash. Qin Profound sneered and gave Fan Qing a signal with his eyes. When Chen Xiang suddenly appeared just now, many people were shocked, because they did not notice him. Wait. Chen Xiang roared. My big brother has lost to you. If I defeat you, can you let us leave? Chen Xiang could use teleportation to leave very smoothly, but he had another plan. With just you? A young man in the crowd asked in disdain. That's right. Chen Xiang looked at Fan Qing. He felt that this Fan Qing should only be at the early stage of the Heaven Realm. The spirit qi he had when fighting Yichong was similar to Jiang Simei's. Ha! He began to laugh loudly. Although Fan Qing is Qin Profound's disciple, he is still at the early stage of the Heaven Realm. Furthermore, he has a rare set of rules. Even though Yichong is in the middle stage of the Heaven Realm, he still can't beat Yichong. Since this Fan Qing can defeat people in the middle stage, then why can't I defeat people in the early stage of the Heaven Realm with the strength of 10 levels of the Ether Realm? Chen Xiang replied with a question, can we fight? We'll only know if we fight or not, don't jump to a conclusion. I've seen a lot of guys like you who like to fart with their mouths. That's why I'm curious, are you using your mouth to fart? You even use your mouth when you're S-H-I plus ting? I will tear you apart. The man was instantly enraged. The berserk chi around his body erupted, bringing about a gust of wind. The strong killing intent enveloped Chen Xiang, but he stood there straight, his expression calm, as though he was not at all scared. This level of calmness actually caused many people to praise in their hearts. In this sort of situation, many people at the 10th level of the Tai Dao realm would kneel down in fear of that murderous intent. It seems that you have some ability. If you lose, both of you will die miserably. Qin Profound said. I'll wait until your fight wins. If I win, I can bring Big Brother E away, right? Chen Xiang said. If you win, that won't be a problem. Qin Profound laughed sinisterly. Don't believe his bulls. H-I plus T. Yichong shouted. Big Brother E, you rest first. I'll definitely beat him. Chen Xiang smiled mysteriously at Yi Chong. Qin Profound was extremely interested in Chen Xiang, because there was no aura around the place when Chen Xiang suddenly appeared, which made him a little fearful. After all, Chen Xiang was only at the 10th stage of the Tai Dao realm, but even he himself did not know how Chen Xiang suddenly appeared here, nor did he save Yi Chong. Chen Xiang supported Yi Chong to the side, and after rubbing his fists, he asked, "Can I use weapons?" Fan Qing immediately replied, "Do as you wish, even if you use 10 weapons, it's useless. Your weapons are like tree branches in my eyes." Chen Xiang took out his heavenly magic sword. "That's right, I'll kill you truthfully. What should I do?" Chen Xiang asked again. "Don't even think about stupid things, you can't even kill me in your dreams." Hearing that, Fan Qing frowned. Chen Xiang actually wanted to kill him. "Begin." Qin Profound was getting impatient and shouted loudly. With a shout, Fan Qing immediately attacked, transforming into a ray of cyan-colored lightning, and struck horizontally towards Chen Xiang. Qin Profound's voice still reverberated, and the Fan Qing that had turned into a cyan lightning had already penetrated Chen Xiang's body. Fan Qing said through Chen Xiang's body, turned his head, and saw that there was only a hole on his abdomen, but there was no blood at all. Furthermore, his body did not explode, which meant that there was a big problem. Earlier, everyone thought that Chen Xiang was a little lucky, that he would be able to hold on for a period of time. However, they didn't expect that he would actually be able to kill her with just one move. Just as everyone was thinking about that, Chen Xiang suddenly appeared behind Fan Qing. With a flash of his sword, a red line suddenly appeared on Fan Qing's neck. Just as everyone saw the red lines on Fan Qing's neck, Fan Qing's chest had 10 more holes in it. When Chen Xiang cut Fan Qing's head off, he had also thrusted dozens of times into Fan Qing's body, his speed reaching his limit. C-2746. C-2746 Fan Qing, who was full of confidence just a moment ago, had his head smashed into the ground now and his body turned into a hornet's nest. Everyone present, especially Qin Profound, were all dumbstruck by Chen Xiang's previous attack. This was because Chen Xiang was only at the 10th stage of the Tai Dao realm, yet he was already so formidable upon entering. Qin Profound immediately analyzed Chen Xiang's fighting technique. He was certain that Chen Xiang did not disappear just now because he was moving too quickly, and had even used some secret technique to make himself invisible so that he could hide his presence. That was why Fan Qing did not sense him. Furthermore, Chen Xiang also used another secret method, which made himself look like he had been defeated. He released an illusion to confuse Fan Qing, allowing him to be careless. And this was all done instantly by Chen Xiang, in one breath. It was so smooth, it required a lot of fighting experience. I won. Chen Xiang helped the surprised Yi Chong up and walked towards the lower level. Don't even think about leaving. Qin Profound bellowed, his entire body briming with killing intent. The rest of the people also surrounded him. Some of them were from the Azure Dragon School, and the others were probably Qin Profound's friends. All of them were in the early stage or even the late stage of the Heaven Realm. On what basis? Didn't you just say that you only need to beat him? Chen Xiang asked. It's not bad that you won against him, but you killed him too. He's my disciple. You killed my disciple. Do you think you can leave? 3W. Ibdu. Qin Profound clenched his fists tightly. His disciple was killed right in front of his eyes. What kind of shame was this? Hey, your disciple also wanted to kill me just now. If he wasn't that ruthless, I would have shown mercy. Chen Xiang snorted. If you are killed by my disciple, your friend can also kill me. I have no objections. Qin Profound had already walked over and shouted at the same time, Everyone surround him, this guy has a strange secret technique, don't let him run away. Just as Qin Profound finished speaking, Chen Xiang and the injured Yi Chong suddenly disappeared. They're still nearby. I can feel their auras. Qin Profound immediately faced a direction and struck with his palm, striking out a huge, angry black dragon. The black dragon flew away, leaving behind a gully in the ground. It crashed into a small mountain in the distance, blowing it away. Chen Xiang was already invisible as he flew up with Yi Chong. Just now, he was running on the ground purposely to attract Qin Profound's attention, and with that, after Qin Profound attacked, he would release a burst of qi that would disrupt the atmosphere. This way, no matter how much qi Chen Xiang released, it would not be discovered so easily. He ran away. Where did this guy come from? Qin Profound's face turned sinister, the veins popping up were black, and he looked very frightening. No one beside him dared to speak, as they had already been scared stiff by his violent and angry aura. Yi Chong had already fainted, but when he saw Chen Xiang kill Fan Qing, he knew that Chen Xiang's strength was not weak, so he was a lot more at ease. Chen Xiang put Yi Chong inside the Yu Yao mountain villa. He did not leave Qin Profound's side. These guys, they actually want to kill me. Chen Xiang was not afraid of them right now. It was a common thing for various sects and schools to clash with each other in private, especially in this kind of place. If they were to return to the city, they wouldn't dare to do so. Let's split up and search. It would be best if we could send 3 people in a row. He must still be here. He must have consumed a lot of his secret arts to use invisibility, so he won't use it often. We can sense his aura just by concentrating. Qin Profound shouted. Chen Xiang had teleported back to that place just now and heard what Qin Profound said. This Qin Profound is indeed very strong. When he was angry, his qi was extremely violent. Even if he ambushed me, it would be difficult. Maybe he would even injure me heavily. If I had the strength of a middle-stage heaven realm, it wouldn't be a problem for me. Chen Xiang was unwilling, but for safety's sake, he could only give up the idea of killing Qin Profound, and turn his attention to the others. These fellows are together with Qin Profound, and they can endure his temper. They must be colluding with Qin Profound, and are all the same kind of people as him, so there's no need for me to be lenient. If I didn't run away just now, they would have definitely surrounded me and killed me. Chen Xiang would never hold back against an enemy that wanted to kill him. Right now, he was secretly following the 5 disciples of the Azure Dragon School. 4 hours later, these 5 people had entered a forest. Chen Xiang also planned to make his move inside. Inside Yu Yao Mountain Villa, Yi Chong's voice suddenly came out. What is this place? This is my divine sense sea world. Big brother Yi, rest well. Chen Xiang immediately replied. Bro, you're really amazing. You actually killed Fan Qing. This guy is so strong. Yi Chong sincerely admired Chen Xiang. Nothing. Alright, why are you here? Chen Xiang asked. Big brother Yi, are you here to kill Qin Profound? Does he know where he is? Yes, I heard that he brought his own team here to hunt Dragon Beast, and then hid on the road to ambush him. I never thought that his team would be so strong and have so many people. I can't even defeat one of them. Yi Chong was extremely ashamed. Big brother Yi, you should go rest for now. I'll be back on the 100th floor soon. Chen Xiang said. He had already taken out his heavenly magic sword. He sucked in a small breath of air, and used teleportation to hack off the heads of the 3 Azure Dragon School disciples closest to him. After the other 2 disciples realized this, they were about to attack, but Chen Xiang had already arrived behind them and killed them all. Is it at the early stage of Heaven Realm? Chen Xiang disposed of their corpses, then left the forest and returned to the 100th floor. On the way back, he met more than 10 people with Qin Profound, all of whom were killed by him cooperating with spatial teleportation. After returning to the 100th floor, Chen Xiang immediately returned to the Flying Dragon City. He gave Yi Chong some Dao Crystal S to hide in, and told Yi Chong that he would help him kill Qin Profound sooner or later. Yi Chong was extremely grateful to Chen Xiang. He did not accept Chen Xiang's Tao crystal, and also promised Chen Xiang that he would not be so reckless in the future. When Chen Xiang returned to the profound Wu Dan pavilion, he thought back to when he killed those people at the early stage of the Heaven Realm. I have to enter the Heaven Realm. Next time I meet Qin Profound, I must kill him. Chen Xiang greeted Wu Profound and then entered the secret room to cultivate 3 profound divine junctures. How do I gain enlightenment? Chen Xiang was confused by this, because the process of comprehension was different for everyone. Sometimes it would suddenly happen and it would be hard to describe it in words. See 2747. See 2747. Chen Xiang closed up for more than 10 days, but he did not make any progress at all. He had no choice but to let Wu Profound buy Dragon Beast S worth 100 million. He wanted to try using the Dragon Laurel beads and see if he could gain insights into the 3 profound divine junctures if he ate it. Wu Profound did not know why Chen Xiang wanted so many corpses of the Dragon Beast, but he did not ask. Chen Xiang still had 3 billion Tao Crystal S, which was a lot in the eyes of many. However, Chen Xiang felt that it was very little, because he wanted to cultivate Heavenly Alchemy Tao line. He had asked Wu Profound before, but there was actually a Heavenly Alchemy Tao line here. But there was something here from the beginning, which made Chen Xiang feel that the rules were very ancient as well. However, Heavenly Alchemy Rule Beads S were extremely expensive, and in Wu Profound's eyes, they were supreme powers of the ancient code. He didn't even know what use the ancient code had. Wu Profound did not know whether or not he had trained in the laws of heaven, but although many sects knew that there existed such laws, when the myriad Tao Divine Steel appeared, they had never used a Tao crystal to condense them, because condensing a single Heavenly Alchemy Rule beads already required a price of over 4 billion. Wu Profound had heard that if one bought one, it would require at least 5 billion Tao Crystal S. Under normal circumstances, 100 law beads would be required to cultivate it, but 100 would be required to buy one. Read. Fiction requires 500 billion Tao Crystal. So even though Chen Xiang had 3 billion now, he felt that it was far from enough, even though he only needed 20 law beads S. We can only look at Flying Dragon AS Association. Chen Xiang planned to cultivate in seclusion for another half a month. If he was unable to open one of the profound G.O.D.S. gates, he would temporarily give up. This was because he wanted to earn more Tao Crystal. After he obtained the Flying Dragon AS Association's quota, he would be able to use the least amount of Tao Crystal to condense even more rare law beads. 100 million Dragon Beast corpses can allow me to condense 2 Dragon Law Rule beads. Chen Xiang did not expect to receive such a huge harvest. Although the law beads S here were much more expensive than the myriad Tao City S, the corpses of the Dragon Beast S here were very cheap, and the corpses here contained even more dragon energy. 2 Dragon Law Rule beads S is 600 million, but I only used 100 million. If I refine them again, these 2 Dragon Law Rule beads can be sold on the black market. At that time, they will definitely sell for 200 million. Thinking about it, Chen Xiang felt joy in his heart. It was just that the refining process was a little more complicated than before. It would require at least an entire day to be completed. However, it would save them a lot of costs, and it would still be more worthwhile. At least they wouldn't need to let those powers earn so many Tao Crystal. The next thing he wanted to do was to make the 2 law beads for himself to eat. He wanted to see if he could figure out a way to open the 3 profound divine junctures. He ate one of them. It was worth 1 billion, and it made his heart ache, but he had no choice. It was all for the sake of allowing him to quickly break through to the heaven realm. After eating it, he immediately fused the power of the law that the law beads refined into the spirit of the Tao Gods. He did not know what uses it had, and that was what Wu Profound told him. He focused his mind and refined the power of law into the spirit of the Tao Gods. The The 10th level of the Dao Dan realm is only a matter of cultivating the spirit of the Dao Gods to the mature state, but it is not at the peak of strength. I feel that there is still room for display. At this time, Chen Xiang could feel that the spirit of the Dao Gods was becoming stronger. Although the spirit of the Dao Gods was strong, it was still the same as before. The amount of primitive Tao power extracted from it was the same as before, with the same intensity. It did not increase by much. Very quickly, more than 10 days had passed. Chen Xiang did not gain anything, but he had slowed down to refine the law beads bit by bit. Looks like my time isn't up yet. Chen Xiang took out another dragon laurel bead. He was considering to eat it, and continued to try to open the 3 profound divine junctures. Eat another one. Chen Xiang had decided that if he did not succeed, he would stop for a period of time to earn Dao crystals. Before he ate, he gave Wu Profound another 200 million Dao crystals and told him to purchase the corpse of the dragon beast. For the time being, he did not tell Wu Profound the uses of the dragon beast. Wu Profound had told Chen Xiang before, the majority of flying dragon pag. Were filled with dragon beast S and Dao crystal, as if they were endless. After so many years, the resources inside did not decrease, but instead became richer and richer, which was also the reason why many rankers did not want to leave the flying dragon pag. After Chen Xiang ate the second pellet of dragon laurel beads, he did not have much hope. Even if he failed, he would not lose the law beads, because the law beads could continue to strengthen his spirit of the Dao Gods. While Chen Xiang was cultivating, more than 10 days had passed. Said unknowingly. Even now, he had not made any progress, and just when he was feeling a little disappointed, he suddenly felt the spirit of the Dao Gods moving. The spirit of the Dao Gods was like a golden ball of light floating in the sky within his divine sense sea. It emitted a piercing light, just like the scorching sun at noon, and was still revolving non-stop. At this time, his spirit of the Dao Gods was violently swaying. What's going on? Don't tell me that I have to open a profound God barrier? Chen Xiang also did not ask Wu Profound what would happen when he made the call. He immediately focused his mind and looked inside the spirit of the Dao Gods. The inside of the spirit of the Dao Gods was in chaos, as though it was a golden ocean that was constantly churning. As the spirit of the Dao Gods shook non-stop, the light it emitted became even more intense. What is this? White pearls. Chen Xiang saw a white pearl inside the spirit of the Dao Gods. It was not big in size, the remaining SPAC was just big enough to fit 2 of these pearls inside. Could this be the profound GODPASS? Chen Xiang saw that the spirit of the Dao Gods had stabilized, and then tried to circulate it. In that instant, he suddenly felt that the primitive Tao power he extracted from the spirit of the Dao Gods was more than 10 times stronger than before. I've broken through? Chen Xiang couldn't believe it. He thought he would need at least a few years, because Wu Profound had previously said that it would be extremely difficult. But now, he had only eaten 2 law beads that he had refined himself, and had successfully broken through. Seems like stepping into the heaven realm will not be difficult. Chen Xiang walked out of the secret room happily. Chen Xiang, the corpse of the dragon beast that you wanted here. When Wu Profound saw Chen Xiang coming out, he immediately said 2 storage bag over. I can't hold it in anymore, I really want to know what you're doing this for. The thing that makes a fortune. Chen Xiang laughed. How many Dao crystal pills? I mean, after the refinement, the pill would be 5 times better than the original. 6 times. When Wu Profound heard it, he was stunned, and he took a deep breath. Dragon laurel beads are slightly more expensive than other rare principle, they need 350 million. If it's a large quant. 1 Tai, then it's actually 300 million Tao crystals. C 2748. C 2748. Based on Wu Profound's familiarity with the black market, he calculated and had a count. 6 times that would be around 9 billion. Wu Profound said, "Oh right, your dragon laurel beads are going to be extracted from these dragon beasts?" Chen Xiang smiled and nodded. "That's right." Wu Profound's heart jumped and asked, "Then how many dragon beasts can refine one pill?" With regards to Chen Xiang's ability to refine pills, Wu Profound already had a certain level of understanding and was able to calm down. 100 million dragon beast can refine 2 ordinary law beads, and then I can refine some from this foundation, hee. It can be sold for 9 billion. Chen Xiang laughed. Wu Profound almost lost his balance. To be able to earn this much in one breath, it was truly great, and it did not even take much effort. Wu Profound and Chen Xiang had a contract, so Chen Xiang was not worried that he would reveal it. Just like before, you can continue to take out 1 billion. The remaining 5 billion will go to me, Chen Xiang said. No problem, just running errands is enough to earn so much. I still feel somewhat guilty. So I'm very satisfied with this number. Wu Profound wiped his sweat and laughed. That's not right. You have a certain risk. If you don't make it, you might lose your life. Chen Xiang said very seriously. Especially after we sell the dragon laurel beads, this will definitely attract more people's attention. You can rest assured that the man has already signed a contract with me. He won't leak it, and he's got a very strong background, and he's on the black market, after all. Wu Profound laughed lowly. That person is also from our Profound marital school. His strength is not weak either. He had gained something from the sale. Chen Xiang nodded. Right, how has Mei Jing's sisters and the rest been? Fortunately, Thinking Beautiful knows how to refine Tianhun Gold Dan S is very popular with the pavilion masters of Profound Wu Dan Pavilion. They treat the 2 sisters as distinguished guests. Wu Profound said. That's good. Right, how long until the Flying Dragon Association begins? Chen Xiang asked. I need to hurry up and earn more Dao Crystal. When the time comes, I'll go in and get more cheap law beads. Wu Profound also thought the same. During this period of time, he did not purchase any rare principal beads, and instead kept the Dao Crystal to display its abilities in the Flying Dragon Association. The precise time is after 3 months. Don't worry, when the time comes, I will go with you and you won't miss it. Wu Profound patted Chen Xiang's shoulder. Wu Profound, we have been selling a lot during this period of time. Is that convenient? Chen Xiang asked again. Previously, he only popped out 2 pellets every month, but Chen Xiang felt that it was slower. You go refine first, I'll go ask the buyer. If he thinks there's no problem, then there's no problem. Wu Profound laughed. That guy is probably collecting Dao Crystal S to join Flying Dragon Association. After saying goodbye to Wu Profound, Chen Xiang entered the secret room. During these 3 months, he would be refining a few more law bead. Now that he had stepped into the heaven realm, Chen Xiang's refining speed had increased by a lot, and he could even go up a level when using the crash method. In just 2 days, he had refined 4 dragon laurel beads that were 6 times stronger than normal law beads. After exiting the secret room, Chen Xiang went to find Wu Profound in a hurry. Success? Let me see. Wu Profound was very excited to see Chen Xiang. Here. Chen Xiang said 4 law beads S to Wu Profound. 4 pills this. It's only been 2 days. Wu Profound received it and took a look. He discovered that there was an extremely strong power of the Dragon Way within it, and he confirmed that it was 5 times stronger than that. How much can we sell? Chen Xiang asked. 10 pills a month isn't a problem, Wu Profound said. This is 1.5 billion Dao Crystal. It's best to be careful around people who buy dragon beasts. Chen Xiang was a little worried. If too much was sold, he was worried that it would arouse the suspicions of the powerhouses. We'll all be careful. Wu Profound solemnly nodded his head, then proceeded to the transaction. After Chen Xiang changed his appearance and left the profound Wu Dan pavilion, he had to rest for 2 days and stroll around casually. Qin Profound and the others suffered such a huge loss this time. I wonder if this news will spread out. Chen Xiang asked around on the street, but he did not find any news about them. This place is the central region after all, and there are quite a few people here. Why haven't there been any news about it? Could it be that Qin Profound was worried that it would be too embarrassing and kept it a secret? Chen Xiang thought to himself. He wandered around until night and did not hear anything about Fan Qing being killed. At night, he returned to the profound Wu Dan pavilion, and Wu Profound returned as well. Wu Profound was now a rich person as well, and because of his extensive network, he bought the dragon beast quickly. In just a single day, he bought the corpse of the dragon beast, which was worth 500 million. 4 pills, 6 billion for you. Wu Profound smiled brilliantly. He had also earned 6 billion today. Wu Profound, when we were at Flying Dragon Association, do you think we would meet the head disciple of Azure Dragon School, Qin Profound? Chen Xiang asked. He felt that Wu Profound must know about Qin Profound's situation. Well, you won't meet him, but I will definitely meet him. I'm at the late stage of the heaven realm, in the same group as him. Wu Profound laughed bitterly. At that time, what I need the most is to protect him well. I do not need to worry about anything else. He is at the late stage of the heaven realm, and I am only afraid of him. So powerful! Chen Xiang was secretly glad that he did not ambush Qin Profound the last time. He is quite amazing. I heard that all 9 of his mysterious doors are open. 10. Wu Profound laughed, but this guy also tumbled over. My own disciple was killed by someone, and that person was even killed in front of him. Even if I don't know who this person is, I'm still inquiring about him. Also, more than 10 people in the squad he is leading have died unnecessarily. Qin Profound has never suffered such a heavy loss before. Wu Profound, the one who killed his disciple is me, Chen Xiang said. Wu Profound was stunned. He naturally did not believe Chen Xiang subconsciously, but when he thought about how powerful Chen Xiang's pill refining was, how he definitely had to use a large number of medicinal pellets to make himself very strong. Furthermore, Chen Xiang had even earned a large number of Dao crystal, so he did not doubt Chen Xiang's words anymore. Will there be any serious consequences? Chen Xiang looked at the dazed Wu Profound and asked. Can you tell me what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Wu Profound was even more curious. Chen Xiang told Wu Profound about saving his life. In order to save his friend, he did not hesitate to offend Qin Profound and even killed Qin Profound's disciple. It's going to be more serious if it's someone else's disciple, then it's fine, but Qin Profound's disciple. Because of Qin Profound, the Azure Dragon School will definitely value him a lot, but at that time, even if they are in the Flying Dragon Association, they will not dare to do anything, so it will be hard to say for sure in the future. Wu Profound said, so you must be careful and not let them find out that you're here. See 2749. See 2749. Now that Wu Profound knew that Chen Xiang was the one who killed him, he would help Chen Xiang keep an eye on Qin Profound's movements and the Azure Dragon School's attitude towards him. Chen Xiang knew that Qin Profound was very strong, but he was not afraid now, because he had already stepped into the heaven realm. Although it was only the early stages, he had already opened all of his profound veins, and was able to increase his strength by a lot compared to cultivators of the same level. Furthermore, he still had sword spirits in his heavenly magic sword, as well as powerful supporting divine tools like 6 realms mirrors and Emperor seal, which could produce tremendous power. When Chen Xiang saved Yi Chong, he had gone through a simple disguise, so even if Qin Profound saw him again, he would not be able to recognize him. He had also understood from Wu Profound that although Qin Profound had created a portrait, it did not resemble him at all. Concentrate and prepare to partake. 1p8 in Flying Dragon AS Association. At this time, Chen Xiang was trying his best to refine Dragon Laurel bead. He still had 3 months' time, so he wanted to gather as many Dao crystal as possible. 3 months was an extremely short period of time for Chen Xiang. Because of the limitations of the time, he could only sell 10 of those Dragon Laurel beads every month, which meant 30 of them in 3 months. Although it wasn't much, it was enough for Chen Xiang to obtain around 50 billion Dao crystal s. With what he had earned in the past 3 months, added to the previous ones, Chen Xiang now had 50 billion Dao crystal. The Flying Dragon City is incredible, 50 billion doesn't seem like much to this place. Lamented. At this time, he was sitting in Wu Profound's carriage, and Wu Profound was bringing him to the center of Flying Dragon City. 50 billion is indeed nothing to the Flying Dragon City. Every day, there are hundreds of millions of Dao crystal, but in the Flying Dragon City, one person only needs 3 months to earn more than 40 billion. I think there should not be more than 10 people like that. Wu Profound looked at Chen Xiang with a face filled with admiration, because Chen Xiang was one of them. Wu Profound, have you been to the center of Flying Dragon City before? How is it inside? I've been to the Flying Dragon City for so long, but I haven't even been to the inner district. Chen Xiang said. There were already many rich people in the inner regions of the Flying Dragon City, let alone the center of Flying Dragon City. Chen Xiang only knew a little about it, but he didn't know much about it. Wu Profound laughed and said, "Of course I have. Although the people inside are all rich and powerful, all of them are from famous families, and the people inside are more profligate and more powerful, most of them are young disciples. But, compared to you, they are far weaker, they only know how to spend, they don't know how to change. Even though they are very rich in the eyes of many, but to make them take out 1,800,000,000 Dao crystal s in one go would probably be very difficult." Wu Profound, you are so rich now. Chen Xiang snickered. Isn't that still taking advantage of you? Wu Profound felt that his cooperation with Chen Xiang was very happy. Just running errands was enough for him to earn this much Dao crystal s, which was more than 10 billion. In such a short period of time, he had already reaped such a great harvest. Previously, he couldn't even dream of such a thing, but now, he was truly born in his body. Chen Xiang, actually, we do not need to worry about offending people anymore. We have so many Dao crystal, we can use them to hire some strong 1. Tioniers to protect us. Of course, no one knows about us right now, so there won't be any trouble. Wu Profound said. Seems like he was very confident about the black market. After the carriage drove to the side of a river in the inner district, Chen Xiang followed Wu Profound out of the carriage and boarded a huge boat. Can't the carriage go in directly? Chen Xiang asked. Of course you can, it's just that you can view the scenery along the way by boat. And it would be more comfortable to take a boat. Wu Profound said, of course, I have to pay a lot of Dao crystal. Although Chen Xiang had more Dao crystal than him, he could not possibly let Chen Xiang out this tiny bit of Dao crystal. There were still about 10 days until the start of Flying Dragon AS Association. This SHI+P's speed was extremely fast, and also very stable, so Chen Xiang was currently looking at the scenery along the coast from the window in his room. It was indeed quite good. Why did it slow down? Just now, Chen Xiang could still feel that the giant SHI+P was flying, but it had slowed down in a short amount of time and was approaching the SAOR Chen Xiang, it's me. Wu Profound knocked on the door, his voice anxious. What is it? Come in quickly. Chen Xiang immediately replied, Are we at center of Flying Dragon City? After Wu Profound entered, he said anxiously, No, this is still the inner region. The SHI+P is now docked, and another group of people are to board the SHI+P. I heard from the captain just now that a group of disciples from famous sects will be coming up later. Qin Profound is also among them. What? Why is he here? Chen Xiang was very surprised. There was an auction in the intersection just now, and all these guys were gathered here. I never would have thought that I wouldn't ride on this SHI+P if I had known they would come up. Wu Profound said with some self-blame. It's all right, that fellow didn't recognize me. Oh right, I've changed my tie to being your follower. Although you didn't say it yourself, I can guess that you have a very prestigious background. It shouldn't be a problem for you to have a follower by your side, right? Chen Xiang laughed. Wu Profound was startled for a moment, then said, Do as I say, don't scare me. It's just an act, they won't suspect that your follower killed Fan Qing. Chen Xiang spread out his hands and laughed. All right then. When the time comes, I will say that you are the son of an old subordinate of my grandfather and will temporarily be my follower. Wu Profound thought about it, and felt that this was also good, because when the time came, he would inevitably meet many disciples from famous sections. Qin Profound came. Chen Xiang looked through the window, and saw Qin Profound and a large group of people walking over. The experts of the 7 divine beast sects have arrived. The pressure is quite great. Wu Profound sighed. Hopefully I will be able to get a placing this time. I have prepared quite a few Dao crystal. If I can get a spot, I can quickly cultivate even rarer Dao veins. Chen Xiang said, You should know them, there is no need to go out and welcome them. Wu Profound nodded his head. I do know them, but their relations. HI+P is very ordinary. Some of them are my enemies, and when I meet them, they will always ridicule me a few times. In the past, I did feel inferior in front of them, which resulted in me always being in the central region and not going to the inner region or even center of Flying Dragon City. Heh. Even though Wu Profound had earned this much Dao crystal, he was still filled with confidence. They must know I'm here. Later, they'll hold some kind of dinner and invite me. Wu Profound said, I'll bring you there then, and see if Qin Profound can recognize you or not. All right. Chen Xiang suddenly looked forward to the banquet. C-2750. C-2750 at night, Wu Profound came to find Chen Xiang and bring him into a very luxurious hall. Now, Chen Xiang knew that many disciples of famous sects would like to board this SHI+P. Wu Profound was dressed extravagantly and had a heroic air about him. A smile hung on his face, making him look like a very confident person. Chen Xiang was dressed simply and followed behind Wu Profound. As soon as he entered the spacious and luxurious hall, Chen Xiang could feel the hostility from Qin Profound. Qin Profound was also one who didn't know how to restrain himself, especially in this kind of place where all sorts of heroes fought, and he raised his aura to the limit. Yo, look who's here. This is the son of the former leader, the former disciple of Profound Marital School's eldest disciple Wu Profound, young Bli Wu. A handsome man with a long shawl on his back suddenly laughed loudly. His laughter was filled with ridicule. Chen Xiang did not know that Wu Profound actually had such a title. His father was actually the former Profound Marital School, and was even her eldest disciple. Hey, don't forget, Wu Profound's mother is also the former Great Elder of the Profound Marital School, and Master is also the former Very High Elder. Isn't that so? The elders in the family are all important figures, and my uncles are all once elders of the Profound Marital School. Cough, cough. Now, Chun Xiang understood why there were so many connections with Wu Profound. Originally, the entire clan used to dominate the Profound Marital School, but now that things had declined, they should have been overthrown by another power within the Profound Marital School. I say, your mouth still need to be slapped. It's a pity that I can't beat you, or else I would have already slapped you fiercely a few times. Wu Profound laughed at himself. Little brother hasn't even fallen to this stage. Stop making fun of me. This is something that happened many years ago. You are all famous youths in the sect now. What meaning do you have in mocking a person with such a difficult life like me? It's rare for you to have such self-awareness. It seems that your family's fall in Profound Marital School has allowed you to grow up a lot. The beautiful man said with a smile. His clothes were engraved with the design of the Vermilion Bird sect. Chen Xiang looked at the youngsters inside. They were all outstanding disciples from the 7 great sects of the Divine Beast, and their clothes had patterns of divine beasts engraved on them. After his careful observation, he found that the disciples of the 7 great Divine Beast sect were all present. This was because there were as many Divine Beast images on their clothes as there were on Qin Profound's. Wu Profound was from Profound Marital School, but he wasn't wearing Profound Marital School's clothes, so was Profound Marital School's current disciple. Wu Profound, are you here to partake 1p8 in the Flying Dragon AS Association as well? A beautiful woman wearing a red dress walked over. Her long skirt had the picture of a Qilin on it, and it was even 10 Qilins. This was a seating disciple. The disciple of the Qilin sect was actually a woman. It's just joining in the fun. I don't expect to get a spot. Wu Profound picked up a cup of wine and said, Renlingi, you've become a disciple, let me toast you. When I became your disciple, you did not even give me any face when you did not come. How could a cup of wine from you be enough? 1 vat. Renlingi laughed coquettishly and took out a large wine jar. Chen Xiang was shocked when he saw the large vat that was half the height of a human. If it was normal wine, it would have been fine, but the wine inside looked like lava, and when it emitted a strong smell of alcohol, it also gave off a scorching heat wave. The fire Qilin dream that was brewed with the fire Qilin blood is red. This time, it's going to kill me. Wu Profound was immediately drenched in sweat. It did not look like he was pretending. Ha! Wu Profound, you cowardly, let me tell you, if I don't kill you with this wine, at most I can just let you lie in bed for a year or so. A tall and stu. dy handsome young man said with a smile. His clothes had the design of an idol, and it should be part of the celestial phenomenon sect. Drink it. Drink. The group of people jeered blindly. They were all here to watch the show, and there were even a few disciples who ridiculed Wu Profound. Wu Profound finished the cup of wine in his hand, then laughed. I drank it. Honestly speaking, your jar is too expensive, it's at least worth $1 billion, I'm not willing to drink it. Renlingi giggled with a mocking expression on her face. Do you really think I would give you a drink? Even Qin Profound doesn't dare to drink it all in one go. This is a Tao crystal worth $1.5 billion. It is my Qilin sect's congratulatory gift to Flying Dragon City Lord. Wu Profound frowned and said, Originally, I did not want to drink it, but after being provoked by you, I do want to try it. Even if I have to lie in bed for 10 years, I will drink the gift that your Qilin door was prepared to give me. Oh, are you sure you're going to break after 10 years of lying in bed? Renlingi laughed tenderly and looked towards Qin Profound, who was not far away. Qin Profound originally planned to do the same, but he just drank a bowl and was unable to hold on any longer. He gave me 100 million Tao crystal. Wu Profound was a little surprised. I still need to give you the Tao crystal if I can't drink it. Of course this fires. Hi plus any dream red is very useful. It contains the Qilin law and Tao energy, and the blood can also strengthen one's body. It will greatly overrun the body of a fire refiner. A bowl of 100 million isn't an exaggeration. One of them said, If you are not strong enough and drink too much at once, you will be crippled even if you don't die. Wu Profound looked at Chen Xiang and said, "Can you drink it?" Chen Xiang wanted to try it, but he did not expect Wu Profound to actually ask him. Who is he? Look at his clothes. Is he your follower? But aren't you being too stingy? Your follower is dressed so poorly. A man dressed in phoenix robes said. This was a disciple of Phoenix sect. He's not my follower, he's the grandson of a friend of my grandfather. Don't look at him, he's an extremely amazing alchemist. Alchemist is something that you should all know about, since you all spend all your time hiding in your rooms, so naturally you do not pay much attention to what you are wearing. Wu Profound laughed. Chen Xiang was startled. He had previously agreed to it with Wu Profound, and said that he was a follower. Why did it change now? Alchemist, huh? He looks pretty young, and it's indeed rare. I just don't know how good his pill concocting skills are. In general, young alchemists like him only knows how to use their skin. The disciples of the Phoenix Seat looked at Chen Xiang with disdain. I don't have much skill in pill forging, but I can still drink that much. Among the pill techniques that my master Paas said on to me, there is a method to use the body as the furnace. Although this vat is powerful, I can refine it using my own body as the pill furnace. Chen Xiang said. You must be bragging. How is it that I've never heard of such an incredible pill cultivating technique? There are a lot of things you've never heard of. Wu Profound patted Chen Xiang's shoulders and said, Brother, let's just forget about it. This is a gift that the Qilin Master's elder had given to others. Although she has brought it out to show off, it is still a very precious thing. C. 2751. C. 2751 Renlingi was a woman who liked to show off, so no one here could stand even a small cup of that kind of wine, let alone a large bowl. Only Qin Profound could drink a big bowl of that. So Chen Xiang's words were nonsense in the ears of others, because they had all drank Fire Qi Lin Dream's red wine before. However, Wu Profound believed in Chen Xiang. Now, he would believe anything Chen Xiang said, because Chen Xiang made him earn 10 billion Dao crystals in a few months, without using much energy. If he can drink it, he won't want his Dao crystal. You need to drink it within an hour, or else you'll have to accompany me for 2 billion. Renlingi did not believe Chen Xiang's words. Wu Profound looked at Chen Xiang and laughed. Brother, do you want to try? If you can't drink anymore, I'll help you pay the 2 billion Dao crystal. Since when are you so rich, to actually be able to take out 2 billion Dao crystal? The disciple was surprised, but he did not believe Wu Profound. Don't think I'm always so poor. When Wu Profound took out a storage bag, everyone present immediately used their divine senses to take a look. There really were 2 billion inside. Chen Xiang smiled slightly. Since that's the case, then little brother will not be courteous. As he said that, Chen Xiang picked up the huge vat. Everyone thought that Chen Xiang would drink every bowl, but he actually used the vat to drink every single bowl. This shocked everyone. Chen Xiang opened his mouth wide and caught the remaining wine. Although it was extremely hot, Chen Xiang was able to endure it. In just a few moments, Chen Xiang had drank quite a bit. This was not only a bowl, but Chen Xiang was actually still able to stand. Even Qin Profound, who rarely spoke, couldn't help but be moved at this moment, while everyone present was stunned. They drank a small cup of wine, but were unable to endure the alcohol. Their heads were already dizzy. If it wasn't for the fact that they were about to refine the wine, their bodies would have been damaged by the alcohol. But Chen Xiang had drank so much in a row now, he could still hold onto the huge vat in his hands, and stand there like a giant mountain as he drank crazily. Hey, wait for my bro to finish drinking. Wu Profound immediately pulled Renlingi back and laughed. Why are you in such a hurry? This is a gift. How could Renlingi not be anxious? The wine cup was not hers, it was given to the Flying Dragon City Lord by the leader of Qilin sect. She had indeed used it to show off previously and earned some Dao crystals, but it was still far from enough to buy this jar of wine. Furthermore, these were things that even Dao crystal could not get their hands on. The brewing process was extremely complicated and required a long time, and the materials were also extremely rare. Chen Xiang could feel that Renlingyi's aura was increasing, so he increased his speed. A suction force also came from his mouth, like a dragon swallowing water. Good wine. Chen Xiang licked his lips and cupped his hands towards Renlingyi. Thank you for your wine, I am extremely grateful, haha. Renlingyi's beautiful face was already so white that it had turned green. She glared at Chen Xiang and Wu Profound with her beautiful eyes, and really wanted to beat them up. She had used that wine jug to trap everyone here. Now that everyone else had drunk their fill, if she wanted to return, her reputation as a disciple of the Qilin Hall would definitely be very poor. At the same time everyone was rejoicing at Chen Xiang's misfortune. They were even more surprised that the alchemist actually drank that huge vat of powerful wine, and there was nothing wrong with it right now. Wu Profound, your brother really has some skills. I wonder who his master is, to actually have such a miraculous pill cultivating technique. The disciple asked. My master's name is Huang Jintian, you probably don't know him. He's been living in seclusion for many years. Chen Xiang said. His master was indeed called Huang Jintian, but he was not an alchemist. The people here had never heard of it. Seems like your pill refinement isn't bad. What pill can you concoct? The shrine asked again. I'm only average. After all, I'm still young. Chen Xiang smiled humbly. Renlingyi clenched her teeth as she looked at Chen Xiang. She didn't know what to do now either, because she had lost such an important present. Qin Profound suddenly walked over. Once he moved, everyone immediately scattered. No one wanted to get close to him, because the aura around him made people feel uncomfortable. Wu Profound scolded himself for being careless. Had he known this would happen, he would not have allowed Chen Xiang to cause such a ruckus. Right now, he was very worried that Chen Xiang would recognize him. Qin Profound walked towards Chen Xiang, one step at a time, and the hostility and killing intent on his body became heavier and heavier. Everyone did not know why, and did not ask either, but if Qin Profound wanted to kill someone, no one could stop him, and if they did, he would be in trouble as well. It was you who killed Fanqing, right? Qin Profound's face suddenly turned extremely sinister, surging with killing intent, and the black aura around his body gushed out like a dragon. Everyone was stunned. This man actually killed Fanqing, and was even so reckless in coming here, and was even so calm in drinking, talking and laughing. No one knew where Chen Xiang got the guts from. I killed him. I didn't expect you to actually see through it. Chen Xiang laughed unperturbed, because he was not afraid of Qin Profound at all. He felt that if he were to fight with Qin Profound, even if Qin Profound did not die, he would be half crippled. You sure are bold. Qin Profound's originally ferocious face had calmed down. Qin Profound was actually worried about something, and did not make a move. Everyone thought about it and understood. Just now that Chen Xiang was able to drink that jar of wine, it meant that Chen Xiang had a certain amount of strength, and that Chen Xiang was able to bring a person along to retreat after killing Qin Profound's disciple in front of Qin Profound. No one had such abilities like this. I am actually very timid. When I encounter something that frightens me, I usually run away in fear. Chen Xiang chuckled, then picked up a cup of wine and finished it. What he meant was that Qin Profound was not enough to scare him, so he came over. Alright, just you wait. Qin Profound snorted and left the hall. Wu Profound was scared to the point that he broke out in a cold sweat. He now even more respected Chen Xiang. When facing such a terrifying Qin Profound just now, he was actually able to drink wine without changing his expression, and even dare to say such words to provoke Qin Profound. Very quickly, Wu Profound understood that there was a type of thing called confidence. If there was something that one could have confidence in, it would mean that one was afraid, and Chen Xiang's confidence came from earning Dao Crystal very quickly. It was extremely easy for him to earn tens of billions of Dao Crystal in a few months, so Qin Profound was definitely not able to do it, so Chen Xiang was not afraid of Qin Profound. The people here were all afraid of Qin Profound, but Chen Xiang was someone that even Qin Profound was afraid of, so these people did not dare to mock Wu Profound. Ren Lingyi did not even look at him, worried that she would be implicated in the conflict between Chen Xiang and Qin Profound. Wu Profound also anxiously brought Chen Xiang and left, afraid that there would be other things that would happen. C. 2752. C. 2752. Chen Xiang was not afraid of class HI+ing with Qin Profound, but he was worried that Wu Profound would be implicated because of this, so he stayed in his room the entire time. He did not go out as he wanted to avoid provoking Qin Profound. Wu Profound also didn't know what to do. After all, what had happened was already happening and his was limited, so he couldn't help Chen Xiang fight against Qin Profound. During this period of time, he was also very conflicted, because after offending Qin Profound, the consequences would be severe. What's wrong with you these few days? Don't you want to be like this? It had been several days since Chen Xiang arrived at Wu Profound's room, when they had a conflict during the last banquet. This fellow is extremely vicious, I'm worried that he would do anything to get revenge on you. Wu Profound said, how about this, you don't need to partic. 1p. 8 in the Flying Dragon AS Association. Once the Flying Dragon AS Association begins, something will inevitably happen. If you leave now, it will be much safer. At worst, I won't partic. 1p8 and will hide with you for a while. Chen Xiang laughed and said, I was worried about you. I came to find you with the intention of warning you not to join the Flying Dragon AS Association, so that you could hide away for a while. I don't have anything to be afraid of. It's not a problem for me to protect myself, I'm actually worried about you. Wu Profound said somewhat unhappily. Believe me, I'll be fine. Don't you know that I killed his disciple right in front of Qin Profound's eyes, and took an injured person with me when I ran off? Even he couldn't do anything to me, let alone the fact that I was still in the 10th stage of the Tai Dao realm at the time. I'm already in the Heaven realm now. Heaven realm. Wu Profound did not know that Chen Xiang had already stepped into the Heaven realm. It's just that I've just stepped into the Heaven realm. My current aura is still weak, so you didn't sense it. The aura emitted by the profound God that Chen Xiang had just opened was not very strong. Under normal circumstances, people who were also from the Heaven realm would more or less be able to sense a bit of the other party's profound God's qi, and from then on judge the other party's cultivation. I remember that not long ago you were only at the 10th level of Tai Dao realm. Not long after that you actually... This is unbelievable. Wu Profound was extremely shocked. He knew that Chen Xiang's pill refining skills were strong, but he knew that pills could not help a person break through during the stage of the Heaven realm. Alright, I believe you. You are always so astonies. Hi+ing. If your heart is bad, you will easily be scared to death. Wu Profound wiped his sweat. He did not know what kind of person Chen Xiang was. He felt that Chen Xiang definitely did not have any background here. He did not even have a master. Because Chen Xiang had previously asked him about the Heaven realm, if he had a master instructing him, he would have known about it since a long time ago, but Chen Xiang did not. When he thought about how he managed to cultivate Chen Xiang all by himself, he couldn't help but Hi+ver. This kind of person was simply a monster. In the next few days, the huge Hi+P was enveloped in an extremely heavy and tense atmosphere, because when Qin Profound was here, the person who killed Qin Profound's disciple was also here. What was shocking was that Qin Profound, who was usually decisive and ruthless, was actually able to hold back and did not make a move. And then, under this atmosphere, everyone finally arrived at center of Flying Dragon City. At this time, the center of Flying Dragon City was very lively. All the heroes on the 100th floor of the Flying Dragon Pag were gathered there, preparing to join the Flying Dragon Association. This is the center of Flying Dragon City. No matter how strong Qin Profound is, he would not dare make a move here. There are many experts from the 200th floor who are in charge of organizing the Flying Dragon Association. No one would dare to cause trouble here. Wu Profound was finally relieved. He looked at Qin Profound, who had just walked off the boat. He did not understand why Qin Profound did not make his move on the boat and did not have any chances to get here. Unless there were other programs during the convention that required Partic 1p ants to compete with each other, it was impossible for Qin Profound to make his move on Chen Xiang. Qin Profound's face did not look good. Originally, Qin Profound had a cold expression on all day, but now it looked even worse. When children saw him, they would definitely be scared to the point of crying. On the other hand, Chen Xiang was smiling all day without feeling any pressure at all. Seeing Chen Xiang's candid smile, Wu Profound suddenly understood why Qin Profound did not make a move on the SHI+P, because Qin Profound did not have the confidence to kill Chen Xiang. "Let's go," Wu Profound said, then walked down the boat with Chen Xiang. The other disciples stayed far away from Wu Profound and Chen Xiang, because they were all afraid that Qin Profound would hate them. After getting off the boat, Wu Profound led Chen Xiang to the residence area, which was Profound Wu Dan Pavilion. This really is a place full of rich people. Chen Xiang saw that there were many people on the streets. The accessories on their bodies were all special. They were not gold or jade or anything similar, but law beads. To wear a law beads as an accessory would directly tell others about one's identity. 1. Tie and status, and would allow one to show off more. That's right, he only has 1 billion yuan worth of jewelry on him. How can he not be worried about being targeted? Wu Profound had once been glorious, but he couldn't understand why this was so. He was very rich now, but he would never show it off like this. Chen Xiang was even more so. Flight rule beads, spatial law beads. It's actually just hanging on my waist. Chen Xiang saw a youth in the distance and couldn't help but twitch his mouth. They are only one. Most of them do not have one, and the best way to show off is not to hang so many of these law beads, but to cultivate more tens of billions of Dao veins. Wu Profound laughed. He was sure that Chen Xiang had 2 rare Dao veins, Dragon Path veins and Flying Dao veins. This added up, it was worth 60 billion Dao crystal. Chen Xiang, you asked me to buy a spatial law beads before. Could it be that you want to cultivate a spatial Dao vein? Wu Profound asked. He had already brought Chen Xiang to the center of Flying Dragon City. Although Wu Profound's elders lost their power and influence in Profound Marital School, but a skinny camel is bigger than a horse. His family still have many forces, so this Profound Wu Dan Pavilion belongs to his family. No, I was just researching. I wasted a lot of Dao crystal. Chen Xiang shook his head and sighed. He did not want others to know how powerful the spatial channels he cultivated were. If others were to know that he had this kind of ultimate move, they would definitely be wary of him or find a way to deal with him. It would be disadvantageous to him. Chen Xiang sat by the side of the bed, looking at the other side of the street, suddenly seeing a familiar figure. His face changed greatly. "What's wrong?" Wu Profound asked anxiously. When Qin Profound was angry, Chen Xiang did not have such an expression. Old enemy. Just then, he had seen the people inside the myriad Tao city who were possessed by the evil soul, and one of them was Shui Yunxiong and Shui Qin. These evil souls actually came to this place. These evil soul armies. I wonder what is he doing here. Could it be that he wants to partic 1p8 in the Flying Dragon Association selection? Chen Xiang pointed at the people in the distance. Wu Profound, have you heard of the evil soul inside the Myriad Tao Mausoleum? C 2753. C 2753 Evil Soul. When Wu Profound heard this word, he felt that it was a little familiar. When I was very young, I once heard father and mother say that this is a very terrifying thing. After the people who were trapped inside the Myriad Tao Mausoleum died, they would absorb the evil demon's power from the Myriad Tao Mausoleum and cultivate it to become a terrifying evil soul. Wu Profound's expression also changed. The most powerful thing about this kind of evil soul is that it can take over another person's body, and there is no way to guard against it. Chen Xiang nodded his head. That's right. In the place I was previously at, many of the big shots and powerhouses had their bodies occupied by the evil soul, and even I myself nearly suffered. Wu Profound had always been curious about Chen Xiang's background. Now that he found out that Chen Xiang had come up from the first floor by himself, he admired Chen Xiang even more, and at least he didn't think that he had the ability to do so. I have another friend who also went up to the tower. I just don't know if he came here yet. I hope he's fine. Chen Xiang had always been very worried about Tai Shangzhen. Tai Shangzhen had sent out the news much earlier than him, but now that there was no news, he didn't know how to contact him. It will definitely be fine. Don't worry. Wu Profound said. Right now, the ones we need to pay attention to are those evil souls. I wonder if they brought them here. Go and tell the more prestigious people here to keep their guard up and see if we can get rid of those guys. Chen Xiang said. Amongst them, the strongest should only be the 6G-ODS stage. If they occupy someone else's body, they will have a lot of problems, and won't be able to unleash that body's power for a short period of time. Right now is the best chance to eliminate them. Alright, I'll go look for Flying Dragon City Lord now. My parents have a good relations. H.I+P with him, he should be able to see me. Wu Profound said. After Wu Profound left, Chen Xiang also left the Profound Wu Dan Pavilion to look for Xueqing. Chen Xiang had always been good to his friends, but now Xueqing's situation was very special. Even though he still had that body, his soul had already been devoured and occupied by the evil soul. The thing that made his heart ache the most was that Xueqing's memories were also swallowed up by the evil soul. The evil soul possessed all of Xueqing's memories, and he could pass off as Xueqing. Now, when Chen Xiang went to find the evil soul, he wanted to free him. He could not let the evil soul continue occupying Xueqing's body. This was also the only thing he could do for Xueqing. Chen Xiang had been keeping an eye on Xueqing this whole time, and he saw Xueqing and Xue Yunxiong entering a big hotel they should be staying in. He looked at the door of the hotel from afar and waited for more than 2 hours. After seeing Xueqing coming out by himself, he then quietly followed behind Xueqing. At this moment, he had the appearance of a middle-aged man, so there was no need to worry about him being recognized. He followed Xueqing and arrived at a beautiful place. This guy, he actually came to this kind of place. Chen Xiang also walked in. After he entered, he sensed a few extremely powerful auras. He never expected that there would be such a strong person guarding this wind and moon place. He felt that it should be the late period of 3 profound realm, or even an early stage 6G ODS stage ranker. We can't fight here. Chen Xiang thought that it would be more convenient to make a move here. Let's deal with him for a while and wait for an opportunity to strike. Chen Xiang made up his mind and waited outside for Xueqing. Flying Dragon City was very tight as well. From time to time, a large group of powerful guards would patrol the place. Therefore, Chen Xiang could not make a move inside the city. In the evening, when Xueqing came out of the Wind Moon restaurant, he had changed back into his original appearance, pretending to be Paas Sing by to let Xueqing see him. Sure enough, Xueqing saw it in a glance, and he was very surprised too. Previously, they had planned to take care of Chen Xiang with their group of evil soul, but ever since Brother Wan G gave Chen Xiang a flying divine tool to go to Flying Dragon Pag. Oh duh, he had never appeared again. Now that he saw Chen Xiang, he immediately understood why Chen Xiang had not returned. He had come to this place. Although Xue Qing thought like this, he was still very suspicious, because they had all come here via the transmission array. Chen Xiang did not know about the transmission array, so it would definitely be difficult to get to the top, and he was also clear about Chen Xiang's strength. It was impossible for him to get to the top by himself. Chen Xiang. Xue Qing anxiously walked over and pulled Chen Xiang, and revealed a surprised look on his face. It's really you actually came here too, and I thought you had met with some accident. Chen Xiang also pretended to be very excited. Xue Qing. How did you get here? When I first came here, I lost half my life. Chen Xiang's face was full of surprise as he asked. Was shocked, and now he was sure that Chen Xiang had climbed up to this 100th floor by himself. He came together with my grandfather. That's right, my grandfather and the others are outside of center of Flying Dragon City. I will bring you to see them. Even though you came here, we had always thought that something had happened to you. Xue Qing pulled Chen Xiang and immediately walked toward the main door of the center of Flying Dragon City. There was a wilderness between the center of Flying Dragon City and the inner district. Chen Xiang had heard from Wu Profound that this Xue Qing was going to bring him away from the center of Flying Dragon City. Previously, Chen Xiang had seen Xue Yunxiong entering the hotel and not coming out. Now, it was said that Xue Qing's grandfather was outside the center of Flying Dragon City, and obviously wanted to take him outside to kill him. Alright, I also want to see the head Xue and ask him about the things related to the Flying Dragon Pag. Oh duh. This place is really mysterious. Chen Xiang laughed. It suited him perfectly that Xue Qing wanted to go outside with him. Xue Qing had been here for a while, and he was familiar with the place. Walking on the shortcut, he quickly brought Chen Xiang to a forest outside of center of Flying Dragon City. Where are the head Xue and the rest? Chen Xiang looked around. How long more to go? Right here. Xue Qing's tone changed, and became gloomy and cold. This was also within Chen Xiang's expectations. Not at all. Chen Xiang continued to pretend not to know and looked around. Go to idiot. When Xue Qing shouted this, he had already arrived behind Chen Xiang. At the same time, a blade stabbed into Chen Xiang's heart, and even used a purple-colored iron chain to tie Chen Xiang's throat. The purple chains emitted a true purple electric light, and it looked very domineering. Hee, your body is mine now. As long as I can obtain your alchemy memories, I can have endless wealth. Xue Qing's face turned sinister as he laughed wildly. Just as Xue Qing thought that he had succeeded, his head was suddenly slapped. Chen Xiang suddenly appeared behind Xue Qing, using a type of power that was extremely harmful to Divine Sense C. Using the Heaven Blasting Palm, it shook Xue Qing's Divine Sense C to the point of collapse. After Xue Qing's Divine Sense C was smashed into pieces by the force, the intense pain caused him to bleed out of his 7 orifices, and he fell onto the ground. This was something that Chen Xiang had done using his body-splitting technique and a camouflage technique. When Xue Qing had attacked, his true body had already teleported away, and he had even hidden himself. When Xue Qing had completely relaxed and focused all his attention on his body, would immediately take action. You are too inexperienced. I have already seen through your little trick. Chen Xiang's large palm grabbed Xue Qing's head and lifted it up. Both of their gazes met, and their faces were filled with a cold sneer and ridicule. C-2754. C-2754 Xue Qing now understood that he had actually known that they were evil souls from the beginning. He now felt that he was extremely ridiculous to actually lure Chen Xiang out so that Chen Xiang could take action. Idiot. Chen Xiang laughed out loud. You guys definitely won't meet a good end. You. When did you find out about our matter? Was it Feng Rushue who told you? Xueqing knew that Feng Rushue and his family had left, and Feng Rushue had a good relations, Hi+P with him, so he felt that it was Feng Rushue who said it. It was Brother Wang who said it. I carefully overheard their conversation, and after finding out about it, I immediately went to find Feng Rushue. At that time, Feng Rushue almost fell for it too. Chen Xiang's face suddenly became serious. Don't worry, I won't destroy your evil soul, I will keep you and torture you for a period of time. I'll get you out of my friend's body, filthy evil soul. Shouted in anger as he used the soul-absorbing devil spell. He also wanted to know what was in the evil soul's memories, especially the situation he was in right now. Evil soul was tormented to the point where he wished he were dead by the soul-absorbing devil spell. Evil soul was also pulled out and thrown into a cauldron. Right now, even if that evil soul dies, it would still not be possible. Chen Xiang would burn him for a period of time, and then let him recover on his own. When the evil soul thought about how he would have to live like this every day, he couldn't help but tremble. Even if he wanted to dissipate his soul, he couldn't. Chen Xiang had already understood a lot of things from the evil soul's memories. I never thought that the 7 great villas and 3 great doors would all be here. Back then, the Myriad Tao City was constructed with the help of this flying dragon pag. And had even reserved the ancient transmission array to be transferred here. Chen Xiang learned a lot of useful things, and he had always been suspicious of the transmission array, because the spatial power used here was very immature. The reason why Tai Shangzhen and the others came to the Myriad Tao City was through the transmission array. Now he knew that the transmission array were all built by some seniors of the Flying Dragon Pag. And those old antiques had all gone to the Myriad Tao Mausoleum and not returned. Therefore, the method of setting up the transmission array that he was able to teleport here was also lost. Of course, to Chen Xiang, the most useful thing should be the matter of the natural law Divine Lord. The reason he came to the Divine Wasteland was also to look for the natural law Divine Lord. Now that he finally had news about the natural law Divine Lord, the natural law Divine Lord was actually in the Myriad Tao Mausoleum. He wanted to take over the control of the natural law Divine Realm from the natural law Divine Lord. As for what he wanted to do, he did not know yet, but it would definitely require a strong power. It seems that I have to make a trip to the Myriad Tao Mausoleum after all. Not long after he left the Myriad Tao City, the Myriad Tao Divine Steel became abandoned. This was mainly because Shui Yunxiong had previously used those secret methods on the Myriad Tao's Divine Steel, which could add to the extinction of the Myriad Tao's Divine Steel. When he returned to the Profound Wu Dan Pavilion, Wu Profound had also returned. When Wu Profound saw Chen Xiang, he heaved a sigh of relief. He was worried that Chen Xiang would mess around here. How is it? What did the Flying Dragon City Lord say? Chen Xiang asked. He hated those evil souls who took over the bodies of others. The Flying Dragon City Lord has placed great importance on this matter. He said that he would immediately inform the person in charge of the Flying Dragon Association to remove this group of people before the Flying Dragon Association begins. Wu Profound said. Actually, Flying Dragon City Masters and the others are also very afraid. They are quite familiar with these evil souls, because they are worried that these evil soul have a large group of evil souls in their hands, and these evil soul love powerful bodies the most. As long as they value it, that's enough. Oh right, when is the specific starting time for Flying Dragon Association? Chen Xiang asked. How do I partake? 1. P8 and how do I get a placing? I've already helped you register. Due to the matter of evil soul, we have to delay it. If we don't destroy evil soul, they won't start. Wu Profound said, according to the past rules, Tai Dao Realm S are divided into 3 groups, which are the early stage, middle stage, and late stage, and the 3 levels of 3 profound realm are respectively divided into 3 groups, and there are all the way to 6 GODS stage. Of course, the rules are always different. The specific details will be announced the day before the start of the compet. 1 tie-in. 1 spot, right? I think there's still a lot of hope. Chen Xiang laughed. If I don't get the slot, my 50 billion Dao crystal would be a waste. That's right. Wu Profound laughed. That's why we have to work hard. As long as we can get a placing when we come out, we can definitely improve by leaps and bounds. Just as Wu Profound finished speaking, a wave of hostility suddenly came from outside the window, causing Wu Profound's face to change greatly. It's that guy again. I'm so bored, to think he would come here to scare people. Chen Xiang couldn't help but laugh when he felt the hostility in the air. Qin Profound had arrived and was right below them. Although Chen Xiang and Wu Profound were at the height of the 10th floor, the hostility within them could be clearly felt. Just pause, sing by and scaring us. When Chen Xiang saw Wu Profound stretching his head out to take a look, he smiled and said, "We're already far away." This B-A-S-T-A-R-D, he was almost scared to death. When I can cultivate 2 more rule Dao line, I want to fight it out with him. Wu Profound scolded. I say, why are you so afraid of him? Have you been tortured by him before? Chen Xiang laughed. Of course not. I have seen him many times. When I was still a seating disciple back then, I often sparred with the seated disciples of other sections. I had already seen Qin Profound kill people little by little just because he was ruthless. It's not just 1 or 2 times. Every time he makes a move, it's basically the same. Over time, we all fear him, but you're not afraid at all. Maybe you have seen his cruel and merciless methods. Chen Xiang sighed. I am definitely going to fight with this guy. Although I do not have the confidence to win, I will not let him use his methods on me. Come, let's go out for a walk. Let's take you for a walk around the center of Flying Dragon City. Wu Profound laughed sinisterly. The quality of the girls in this center of Flying Dragon City is very high. There are all kinds. I'll treat. Not interested. Chen Xiang curled his lips. You should bring me around the profound Wu Dan Pavilion. I'm very interested in medicinal pellet. You're right. You already have a pair of twins, and they're all of high quality. They're many times stronger than those mediocre fans. Wu Profound snickered. The 2 of them are just my friends. Don't let your imagination run wild. Chen Xiang fiercely knocked him on the head, and then walked downstairs. Wu Profound brought Chen Xiang to the 2nd floor and saw a familiar person. He quickly shouted, Uncle Feng, why are you here? Chen Xiang had thought that Uncle Feng was a man, but the person who had responded to Wu Profound was a fat middle-aged woman of great weight. When she saw Wu Profound, she walked over with a smile. C-2755. C-2755. Chen Xiang looked at the pills, while Wu Profound chatted with Uncle Feng. He would occasionally listen to Wu Profound and the others. Suddenly, he heard something that piqued his interest. That Uncle Feng was a manager of the Phoenix sect. His cultivation was average, but his relations, HI+P with Wu Profound was not bad, and he could be considered a friend. Just a moment ago, Chen Xiang had heard Uncle Feng mention that a phoenix had come to Phoenix sect called Feng Rushue. Chen Xiang was surprised that Feng Rushue had also come to this mysterious flying dragon pag. Oh duh, but he didn't feel it was strange that the group of evil soul could come as well. I wonder if Rushue Partic 1P aided in the Flying Dragon Association. When Chen Xiang had parted ways with Feng Rushue's family, he had mentioned that they were going to leave the Myriad Tao City. He never expected that they would actually come to the Flying Dragon Pag. Oh, today. Chen Xiang actually didn't really want to go see Feng Rushue. He only wanted to become stronger quickly so that he could head to the top of Flying Dragon Pag. Oh, He firmly believed that after going through these layers of experience, he would be able to become stronger, and at that time, his journey to Myriad Tao Mausoleum would be even safer. Chen Xiang wandered around for a while before returning to his room to rest. He did not have any suitable medicinal pellets in the profound Wu Dan pavilion. As expected, there aren't any good pills to eat in the heaven realm. It might be better to reach the three profound realm. Chen Xiang wanted to see if there were any pills that could help him break through in the heaven realm, but he did not find anything. He had been in his room for a few days straight, and he did not want to go out. He was worried that he would run into Shui Yunxiong and his group of evil soul. A few days passed, and Chen Xiang also received a small piece of news. Evil soul like Shui Yunxiong and the others actually left the center of Flying Dragon City. These guys can actually leave here safely. I thought they would be killed. The group of evil soul were not weak. If they could be killed, he would not meet them again in the future. Killing them is not easy. Their powers are still very strong, and right now is the Flying Dragon Convention. If we were to fight here, it would cause chaos and unease, and the Flying Dragon City Lord and the rest could only put pressure on this group of evil soul, telling them to stay far away from the Flying Dragon City. Wu Profound said, "But we will definitely kill them all in the future. This kind of fellow is scary enough." At this time, Wu Profound and Chen Xiang were heading to the great plaza of center of Flying Dragon City, where the Flying Dragon Association had already begun. The so-called Flying Dragon Association would select tens of thousands of outstanding people from the 100 floors of the Flying Dragon Pag. Giving these tens of thousands of people a chance. This chance would allow them to exchange their extremely small number of Dao crystal for rare and precious law bead. Currently, the outstanding experts from various sects were all partic. 1p aiding. The 10th stage of the Tai Dao realm was the lowest standard for partic. 1p ants, and the highest was the late period of 3 profound realm. Chen Xiang and Wu Profound arrived at the Wyvern Square, where there was a sea of people. The place was bustling with noise and chaos, showing how many people were there. The Flying Dragon Square is already big enough, but it's still so crowded. Chen Xiang exclaimed. This was the first time he had seen such a grand gathering. When the time comes, there won't be so many people competing. Right now, it is only the initial stage, so there will be a screening of Dao power. If the strength of Dao power doesn't reach the standard, then it will be eliminated. Wu Profound said. After the Dao test, they will organize the groups according to the strength of the Tao, and when the time comes, they will divide into 100 groups, with 103 people in each group, and then pass all sorts of tests, eliminating 3 people in each group. If that's the case, then the chances are very high. Chen Xiang felt that this rule was extremely easy. As long as his spirit qi reached the required level and he was allocated to one group, it was equivalent to success. In the end, as long as the 3 of them were not eliminated, he would pass. Seems like the chances are rather high. Let's hope so. If that's the case, we won't be able to get a placing. It can only be said that we are really unlucky. Of course, the prerequisite for that was that one must not be in the same group as Qin Profound, as anyone in the same group would be unlucky. Wu Profound thought of Qin Profound and couldn't help but frown. Chen Xiang and Wu Profound began to queue up, waiting for the test of Dao power. It was night before it was their turn. This Dao force test is so strange, Chen Xiang said. He saw many people gently place their hands on top of a crystal ball, and then the inside of the ball began to light up. According to the difference in Dao power, the number of light spots that lit up inside the crystal ball was also different. Chen Xiang had seen people who had light up over 10,000 light spots before. Those were experts from the 3 profound realm. After everyone had finished their tests, they would choose 10,300 people with the highest amount of Dao power. The 300 people would be eliminated and the remaining 10,000 people would be chosen to pass the test. Chen Xiang felt that it would be easier to pass this way. With more than 10,000 people, as long as they didn't become one of the 300 people. 3,400. After Wu Profound's test, the number of light dots on the crystal ball neared 2,000, which was pretty good too. Chen Xiang just saw many people around 10 or 20 years old, and that was also from the heaven realm. In the early stages of the heaven realm, there were only 1 or 2 dots of light, and Wu Profound was at the late stage of the heaven realm, which was more than 3,000 times stronger than the initial stage. After all, he was once a disciple, and the average heaven realm was around 1,800 points of light, and most of the 100 or 200 spots were in the intermediate stage. Now it was Chen Xiang's turn. He was extremely curious about the intensity of his own Tao energy, and when he placed his hand on the crystal ball, the light that appeared inside caused Wu Profound to jump in fright. Over 100. Wu Profound was only at the early stage of the heaven realm. No matter how powerful the early stage of the heaven realm was, it was at most 50 to 60 light dot. However, Chen Xiang had more than 100. Now he understood why Qin Profound was so afraid of Chen Xiang, because Chen Xiang was not weak at all. After Chen Xiang had registered his name, he left the plaza with Wu Profound, and after getting onto the carriage, Wu Profound sighed. This fellow is truly strange. He is only at the early stage of the heaven realm, but his Tao energy is actually this strong. Chen Xiang disapproved and laughed at himself. I am only a little over 100, you have 3,000, you are many times stronger than me. Wu Profound shook his head. Don't underestimate the power of early stage heaven realm. You are now in 100, and when you reach the middle stage of the heaven realm, it will increase by 10 times, and when that happens, it will at least be around 1,000. Then at the late stage, it will increase by 10 times, and then it will be around 10,000. Then how many Qin Profounds are there? Chen Xiang thought that it was true. He must be over 10,000. Wu Profound sighed. So we are all afraid of him. Then doesn't that mean that the strength of my Tao is 1,000 times stronger than his? Chen Xiang took a deep breath. That Qin Profound was actually that terrifying. That's right. Now you know how powerful he is, right? Wu Profound was extremely speechless, so in the eyes of many people, it was simply a miracle that Chen Xiang, a small fry, did not die after provoking Qin Profound. They returned to the profound Wu Dan Pavilion and waited for 2 days. The results were finally out. Chen Xiang was allocated to the 50th group, and the people here were all in the middle stage of the heaven realm. He was in the 5th group, and all of the disciples were seated, but luckily, Qin Profound was not in the group. Qin Profound was only in the late stage of heaven realm, but he was assigned to one of the groups in the 3 profound realm. C 2756. C 2756. Chen Xiang felt that this Flying Dragon association was rather fair, that they should all be placed in the same group. Otherwise, it would be very dangerous for a guy like Qin Profound to be together with a normal late-stage Divine Sky Realm expert. When Chen Xiang arrived, he was also stared at by Qin Profound a few times. He already knew the strength of Chen Xiang's Tao power, which meant that from now on, he could be at ease while dealing with Chen Xiang without worrying about how strong he was. Back then, they had thought that Chen Xiang was really strong, but now that they knew that Chen Xiang's profound strength was only slightly more than 100, they knew that Chen Xiang was definitely going to die. Even though they were shocked by Chen Xiang's potential, they were surprised at how strong he was as long as they could sense that he was in the early stages, so they would definitely be far ahead of them. Chen Xiang could also feel the schadenfreude of many people, especially those disciples. It's not bad that Ru Shui didn't come to the Flying Dragon association to partake. 1p8. If she came, it would definitely cause a lot of trouble. Chen Xiang learnt from Wu Profound that although this person's phoenix sect was very strong, there weren't many true phoenixes. This person's family, on the other hand, was a true phoenix. The first battle is a compet. 1 Tian. An old man in the middle of the plaza suddenly shouted, "From here to the outer region's flying dragon monument, the 100 people who are the slowest will be eliminated." Everyone felt that it wasn't too difficult to use the fastest speed to travel from the center of Flying Dragon City to the Wyvern Monument in the outer region. Also, the fastest way to get to the top 10 of the Flying Dragon Monument. Everyone will receive 10 flight rule beads, and the top 100 of the 11th will receive 1 pellet. This is the first round's reward. The old man added, 10 flight rule beads would be 3 billion, that was a huge sum. However, many people thought that they wouldn't be able to obtain one. The fastest must be the 3 Profound Realm people. Chen Xiang was also restless. After all, those were 10 flight rule beads, and after being refined by him, their price would increase by several times. He was very confident in his own speed. Very well, prepare for an hour. When I announce the start of the fight, all of you can begin. No conflicts are allowed on the road. If any of you are fighting, you will be disqualified. The old man shouted. After resting for an hour, under the order of the old man, everyone started to run like a swarm of bees. Chen Xiang, I'll be leaving first. Wu Profound quickly flew past Chen Xiang and laughed. Chen Xiang frowned. He suddenly felt that splitting into 100 groups was meaningless. The first round of the compet. 1 Tian had made him feel extremely chaotic. Whatever, I'll try my best to get into the top 10. Chen Xiang also started to run frantically. He did not plan to use the flight rule right now because it would be exposed. After all, he was only at the early stage of the Heaven Realm. They were also the more outstanding people from the sections. Although they were middle-aged, their responsibilities were very difficult, and the sect had asked them to come, in order for them to help condense more law beads. Those who saw the 3 Profound Realm flew into the air, and many people started cursing. It was because it was extremely unfair, but there was nothing they could do. Chen Xiang was now in a relatively later position, so many people were scattered and running wildly, so it did not seem densely packed. There were many paths from the center of Flying Dragon City to the outer region, and everyone had to choose the closest path according to their own memories. Qin Profound actually also has the flight rule. Chen Xiang was secretly shocked. He had already seen Qin Profound flying. When Chen Xiang arrived at a place with no one around, he began to conceal himself. Then, using the flight laws and the power of S.P.A.C., he quickly flew towards the place where the Dragon Flying Monument was located. I've used up quite a bit of Tao energy as well. I wonder if I can make it into the top 10. As Chen Xiang flew in the air, he could see that many of the middle and late-stage Heaven Realm had been said by him. Qin Profound is still in front. His speed is fast. After all, his spirit force is over 10,000 strong. If we really fight, even if I use spirit equipment like Emperor Seal and 6 Realms Mirrors to help, I might not be able to beat him. Seems like I have to be careful in the future. Chen Xiang looked ahead and felt the dense, evil aura. Even though Qin Profound was divided into the 3 Profound Realm, he was not worried at all. He was very confident in his own strength. In the blink of an eye, half a day had already said, but Chen Xiang was currently only in the central region. He had already confirmed that he had said Qin Profound, and not many people could catch up with him now. This Flying Dragon City was extremely vast, so Chen Xiang had to fly for several hours before he finally saw the Flying Dragon Monument. It was a monument that was 3,000 meters tall, and was coiled up by a stone dragon. No one's come yet. I don't want to be first. Chen Xiang saw that there were people at the Flying Dragon Tablet, but they were not people who were fighting miserably. Those people were all old men who were presiding over the Flying Dragon Association. Chen Xiang hid at the side, waiting. Daybreak came, and more people came. Those who came first were all the old men from the Baitsong realm, all from the three profound realm. The ninth. When the 9 people arrived, Chen Xiang immediately revealed his real body and quickly flew over. The first 9 people were all elderly people from the three profound realm. They all knew each other and were currently discussing who the 10th person would be. Within the circle of the three profound realm, they all had a little understanding of each other. However, the person who was flying over was actually a young man. It's actually not Qin Profound. An old man shouted. With a young face, only Qin Profound was able to move so quickly. However, this person was not Qin Profound, so the 9 elders were all extremely surprised. This brat. It seems to only be in the early stages of the heaven realm. An old man saw Chen Xiang approaching and felt his qi. That's right, he's from the heaven realm, but his strength is just over 100. He's a guy with a lot of potential. An old man, who was the host, laughed sinisterly. Chen Xiang had already reached the bottom of the flying dragon monument. He used his hands to pat the flying dragon monument, then sat on the ground and panted. Am I number 10? Chen Xiang gasped for breath and asked. Yes. Yes, how can you be so fast? You used the flight technique. An old man asked. Of course not. The divine ability that I cultivate is called G-O speed step. It can travel tens of thousands of meters in an instant. I ran with my life on the line and I finally made it into the top 10. Chen Xiang smiled. He was just spouting nonsense, and the old men were only half believing and half doubting his words. This is your reward. You've lost too much because of such a small matter. An old man handed over 10 flight rule beads to Chen Xiang. Why? Chen Xiang was very suspicious. The other old men were feeling the same way. Because after the first match, there will be a rearrangement. With how fast you are, by the time of the second match, you will be ranked according to your speed in the new group. At that time, you'll be out of luck. The old man said, if you were to be eliminated and not enter Myriad Tao Divine Tablets formation, don't you think it would be a huge loss? C 2757. C 2757, you. Why didn't you say so earlier? Chen Xiang's expression became somewhat ugly. If he was added to the group of three profound realm, he would definitely cry to death. You don't have to worry about that. You shouldn't be thrown into the three profound realm group, but the later stages of the heaven realm are certain, at least you'll be with those disciples. The old man laughed sinisterly. Chen Xiang tightly held onto the 10 law beads. This was indeed not good for him. In that group of disciples, the strength of their dermic powers was above 2,000, but he was only 100. If the compet 1. Tian rules were related to strength, then he would be in deep trouble. If he could obtain a placing and enter the Myriad Tao Divine Tablets formation, with the 50 billion Tao crystal in his possession, he would definitely be able to earn a huge sum of money and obtain far more benefits than the 10 stalks of flight rule beads in his possession. Chen Xiang sat on the ground silently. He was in a very bad mood. This was the difference between the three profound realm and other people. Chen Xiang now knew that his speed was simply too fast. Qin Profound is here. When Chen Xiang saw Qin Profound, his speed was much slower than many of the three profound realm. There were even some in the late stage of the heaven realm who were faster than him. Chen Xiang suddenly realized something. Qin Profound knew the rules of the compet. 1. Tian, so he deliberately slowed down his pace so that he could lower the number of partic. 1p ants in the group. Now he finally understood why Qin Profound was so relaxed before. It was because he understood the rules of the compet. 1 Tian. However, the old man previously said that the rules of the compet. 1. Tian were confidential, yet Qin Profound actually revealed it to Qin Profound. There's something fishy about this Flying Dragon association. I spit on it, to think I felt that it was very fair before. Chen Xiang secretly sneered in his heart. When Qin Profound arrived and found out that Chen Xiang was actually ranked 10th, he was extremely shocked. Now he understood why Chen Xiang could run away last time, because Chen Xiang had a secret method that allowed him to move extremely quickly. In battle, speed was also very important, and it was also a part of one's strength. Therefore, Flying Dragon A.S. Association's words made sense from the new group arrangement. Many people knew that Chen Xiang was the 10th in the early stage of the Heaven Realm, so they were just as shocked as Qin Profound. They were secretly glad that they were not in the same group as Chen Xiang, because facing such a terrifying speed, it would be difficult for them to hit him. Wu Profound came. One of them was Chen Xiang, who ran for 10 and obtained 10 flight rule bead. When he was pleasantly surprised, he suddenly knew that the second round would start from a new lineup, so when he saw Chen Xiang's ugly expression, he could understand Chen Xiang's feelings. I was careless. Chen Xiang sighed. It's fine you use that piece. Even I don't dare to underestimate you with that kind of strength. To be honest, even if I wanted to hit them, it would be very difficult. I've fought against the 3 profound experts before, so I can't even touch a single hair on their bodies. Wu Profound shook his head and sighed. All right, next, I just hope that I won't be included in the monsters group. Chen Xiang sighed. The human ranking 6 had been renewed, and the 100 slowest people had been eliminated. After half a day, the few elders who were in charge of the Flying Dragon A.S. Association finished their new arrangement. Chen Xiang's face did not look good, because he was now in the same group as Qin Profound. Because Qin Profound's speed was too slow, he didn't need to be in the same group as the 3 Profound Realm. Now we're in trouble. I'm actually in the same group as you. Wu Profound frowned. My speed is very slow. Why are you in this group? Wu Profound was very suspicious. This Flying Dragon A.S. Association is not fair. Clearly, someone intentionally arranged it this way. We have to be careful, and all of the disciples are also in this group. Chen Xiang said in a heavy voice. That's right, they are so afraid of Qin Profound. When the time comes, they will definitely help Qin Profound, and in the second round, there will be 100 people eliminated. Wu Profound nodded. In the second round, we will have a compet. 1. Tie-in to hunt Dragon Beast. All the powerful Dragon Beast will have Dragon Beast Dan in their bodies, and at that time, the 100 people in each group who obtain the least Dragon Beast Dan will be eliminated. The old man said. The time limit is 1 month. Other than that, you still need to go to the 110th floor of the Flying Dragon Pag. Oda. We will be there first. The old man said. The second round was not a battle, so Chen Xiang heaved a sigh of relief. Do we still need to regroup after the second round? One of them asked, which was what many people wanted to know. Chen Xiang was not the only one who complained that he was placed in a strong group. After resting for 3 days, you can begin to hunt the Dragon Beast. At that time, all the Dragon Beast Dan that you have obtained will have to be handed over to us. With that, the old man flew away. Wu Profound took out his horse carriage and entered it with Chen Xiang. Wu Profound, help me get the 1 billion corpses of the Dragon Beast. I'll be refining the law beads for the next 3 days. Chen Xiang said with a serious expression. All right. Wu Profound knew what he was going to do. Chen Xiang was currently in a very dangerous situation, and he was also in the same situation. There was still time for Chen Xiang to make a breakthrough during this period of time. I can already feel that this is someone who Qin Profound is colluding with the Flying Dragon A.S. Association and has purposefully lined me up with him. It looks like he's deliberately trying to kill me. Chen Xiang's face darkened. Don't think I'm easy to bully. To use such a method to deal with him, this sort of unfair treatment was extremely infuriating. After returning to the profound Wu Dan Pavilion in the central region, Wu Profound immediately bought 1 billion corpses for Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang took it and quickly refined it. I need to become stronger, I need to get a placing in the myriad Tao Divine Tablets formation. I need to find out who colluded with Qin Profound. Chen Xiang's heart was filled with anger. Now he could only increase his own cultivation quickly, in order to win the next round. In 2 days of time, Chen Xiang had refined 20 of them. If it was anyone else who had consumed them, they would be able to cultivate a set of Dragon Path meridians, and he wanted to use these law beads to clear the second profound God and step into the middle stage of the Heaven Realm. Wu Profound was waiting for Chen Xiang. The 3 days of rest were already up, but Chen Xiang did not come out. He could only continue to wait. Now, the others had all started to go to the higher floors of Flying Dragon Pag. To hunt dragon beasts. Only Chen Xiang and Wu Profound had not come out. After waiting for 5 days, Wu Profound suddenly heard the sound of a dragon's roar coming from inside the profound Wu Dan Pavilion, and it was from Chen Xiang's secret room that the roar came from. At this time, Chen Xiang's body was being encircled by a scattered green dragon. He didn't know what was going on either. He only knew that he had already opened the second profound God, and was already at the middle stage of the Heaven Realm. The green dragon in my second divine sense actually came out of its own body. Chen Xiang pinched the green dragon. He could feel that there was a blazing dragon blood moving inside the green dragon's body, and it was a living green dragon. C-2758. C-2758 Chen Xiang kept the green dragon in his second divine sense C. His second divine sense C had always been very mysterious, containing extremely strong and terrifying powers. My second divine sense C also has 7 divine beasts. In the future, I should be able to cultivate one of them. With a thought from Chen Xiang, the green dragon appeared, and it was much smaller than before. It was now like a small snake coiling around his wrist. Before this azure dragon, there was already an azure dragon's divine soul, but now that the consciousness of that divine soul has already disappeared, it seems like it's really as the azure dragon's divine soul said. He will be reborn this way. Chen Xiang guessed that this green dragon had already been reborn, and it had even merged with him. I wonder how much it will increase to. Chen Xiang used his mind to control the green dragon to grow bigger. In just a few blinks of an eye, the green dragon had quickly become extremely large, and seeing that the secret room could no longer hold more, Chen Xiang anxiously stopped, allowing the green dragon to return to the divine sense C. Just now I was able to feel the power of this azure dragon. It seems like this azure dragon's power can be used by me, and can even be changed many times. As for how I can use this azure dragon's power, I have to carefully dig. Chen Xiang had already stepped into the middle stage of the Heaven Realm. When he had stepped into the early stage, many people had thought that it was too quick, much less now. The breakthrough of the Heaven Realm is not as difficult as the teleportation. I have already grasped the key to breakthrough. When I have enough time, I will verify it again, and if it is really as I thought, then I will definitely be able to reach the peak of the Heaven Realm quickly. Chen Xiang felt that this was related to the law beads he had eaten. He had only eaten 20 of the and he had already broken through to the middle stage. Chen Xiang came out from the secret room and anxiously asked, "You broke through?" Even though he had already felt the aura of the 2 profound gods, he still did not dare believe it. He broke through? Chen Xiang closed his eyes and activated the counterpower, allowing the counterpower to flow into his spirit of the Tao gods and wrap it around one of the profound gods. After being shocked, Wu Profound suddenly felt that one of his profound gods was missing. "Can't you tell now?" Chen Xiang snickered. "Incredible!" Wu Profound exclaimed and laughed. "Looks like Heaven Realm can be broken through quickly." Wu Profound had guessed that it was definitely related to those law beads. Law beads that were refined by Chen Xiang were many times stronger than ordinary law beads, and this kind of law beads had never appeared before. Thus, no one knew that extremely high-quality law beads would be of great help when breaking through the heaven realm. The second round should have begun. Chen Xiang asked. It's begun. Wu Profound nodded his head. Originally, I wanted to buy Dragon Beast Dan's to pay for them, but I found out that there were very few Dragon Beast Dan on the market that sold them. Even if I bought one, it would not be new, because a fresh Dragon Beast Dan would be able to tell at a glance. Looks like I need to hunt Dragon Beasts myself. However, this can also be cheated, if there is a powerful person secretly helping the party. 1. P. Ants kill Dragon Beast Dan and then trading it on a certain floor, it would be very difficult to be discovered. Chen Xiang said, there are too many loopholes in the compet. 1. Tie-in rules, so it's clear that they are convenient for us to cheat. Well, that's true. Wu Profound nodded. Should we move quickly? Don't worry, I will have a plan. Alright, Wu Profound, I urgently need 10 billion Dragon Beasts. Can you help me get them? Chen Xiang asked. We need to do it in secret. Wu Profound took a small breath. No problem, but it would take some time. Alright, here is 10 billion. Chen Xiang said. It should be okay in a month. No problem. Wu Profound received Chen Xiang's 10 billion Dao crystal, then hastily went to arrange them. After returning, he and Chen Xiang headed to the upper floors. In these 100 floors, there were no dragon beasts to kill, so they could only go to higher floors. Other than that, the dragon beasts that were hunted had to go through strict selection, because most of the dragon beasts did not have any. The Dragon Beasts that had Dragon Beast Dan were all Dragon Beasts that had entered the Three Profound Realm and were preparing to turn into humans. Although Dragon Beasts in human form also had Dragon Beast Dan, they were much stronger, and even humans of the Three Profound Realm did not dare to fight them easily. Wu Profound had a map that showed him the 110th floor, and knew that the stairs were above. He and Chen Xiang decided to go to the 103rd floor to hunt dragon beasts. Although there are a lot of dragon beasts here, there aren't many that have Dragon Beast Dan. After Wu Profound and Chen Xiang came to this floor, they had killed more than 10 dragon beasts, but none of them were weak, and the amount of dragon beast they had killed was not weak either. It shouldn't be just us who find it hard to kill those dragon beasts. Everyone should be the same. Chen Xiang said, the next time I meet a dragon beast, I'll look carefully before making my move. When Chen Xiang reached the middle stage of the heaven realm, his strength had also increased by a lot, so the distance from Wu Profound wasn't that far. He guessed that the strength of his own Dao energy should be around 1,000 times stronger than Wu Profound's, and not by as much as before. Look carefully? It's not good to see if this dragon beast has a Dragon Beast Dan. Wu Profound shook his head. Chen Xiang had the Dao Heart Eye, so he felt that if he really met a dragon beast, he might be able to see through it. There are still 27 days. I wonder how many we'll be able to find then. After Chen Xiang cynated a dragon ape, Wu Profound carefully searched for it, but didn't find any Dragon Beast Dan, so he started to worry. The dragon beasts they met were all cynated by Chen Xiang. Although the dragon beast was strong, under Chen Xiang's cynation it seemed so easy. Before, Wu Profound did not know that Chen Xiang had this capability, but after seeing it before, he finally understood why Chen Xiang could be so arrogant in front of Qin Profound. How many people do you think are needed for us to not be eliminated? Our group will have 10 people eliminated. Wu Profound said. If we don't have a single Dragon Beast Dan, we will be eliminated. As for Qin Profound and the other chief disciples, it is certain that they will not be eliminated. They might even be on the way to the 10th floor right now, so there will naturally be people who will help them kill Dragon Beast. Chen Xiang laughed coldly, because he knew that this flying dragon association was not fair when he encountered the previous division. 2 days later, Chen Xiang and Wu Profound arrived at the 7th floor. Just as he arrived, Chen Xiang discovered a dragon monkey near the exit. He used his Dao heart to look, and saw that there was a ball of light inside the dragon monkey's body. He could clearly see that there was a little golden dragon revolving around this ball of light. This dragon monkey has a dragon beast Dan. When Chen Xiang saw it, he immediately flew over stealthily. Just as he was about to slash and kill, the dragon monkey suddenly knelt down and anxiously shouted, "Master, please wait." C2759. C2759. The dragon monkey actually knew how to speak, so Chen Xiang immediately stopped, and Wu Profound held his sword out in alert. "You actually know how to speak." After Chen Xiang appeared, he laughed. "Seems like you are also preparing to transform." "That's right, I will soon be able to enter the 3 profound realm and take human form. Please be magnanimous and let me go." The dragon monkey kneeled on the ground with a pitiful look. Wu Profound had never interacted with these dragon beasts before, so he did not believe in them. He was even more vigilant now, and his face was filled with killing intent. Chen Xiang understood dragon beast better, as he had become friends with her before. Once these dragon beasts had intelligence, they would become more or less like humans. "I don't have to kill you, but you have to promise me one condition," Chen Xiang said. "We need a large number of dragon beastan, and fresh dragon beastan at that. Do you have a way to help us?" The dragon monkey was one of the elves. It could speak human language before it reached the 3 profound realm, which showed what kind of fortuitous encounters it had. Dragon beastan. The dragon monkey did not understand. "It's the object that was condensed in your body." Chen Xiang laughed. "You should know that we need something like that right now. So this is what you call a dragon beastan." The dragon monkey scratched its head and said, "If you need it, I can give you my dragon beastan, but I can still condense this dragon beastan again." Chen Xiang and Wu Profound did not understand much about the dragon beastan, and were greatly surprised to hear the dragon monkey say so. "It really is possible." Chen Xiang suddenly had a flash of inspiration. He thought about the spirit transformation realm, and felt that it might be related to this. "Master, the dragon beastan that you speak of is where the energy stored in our dragon beast is located. Normally, only dragon beasts that are ready to take human form will have enough energy to condense this energy in their body. Even if I gave it to you, we only need to rest for a while before condensing it again." After the dragon monkey finished speaking, it spat out a ball of light the size of a thumb from its mouth and said it to Chen Xiang. "This is a dragon beastan, and it's very fresh." "So a dragon beastan is such an existence. I thought a dragon beast would die without a dragon beastan," Wu Profound exclaimed. After Chen Xiang received the dragon beastan, he asked, "Little monkey, how many days would it take for you to condense this dragon beastan?" Wu Profound immediately understood what Chen Xiang meant. This dragon monkey was currently like a hen who laid eggs. If possible, they didn't need to go anywhere. As long as they were together with this dragon monkey, the dragon monkey would condense more dragon beastan. "I'll be able to recover in a day." The dragon monkey looked weaker now, because he had given all of his stored energy to Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang took out a myriad Tao crystal, and then, he refined the Tao crystal a few times before condensing it into a pellet. "Eat it and see if it can speed up your recovery," Chen Xiang said. In order to preserve his life, the dragon monkey had to follow Chen Xiang's instructions. After eating it, he said joyfully, "It's faster by a lot. If this goes on, I can condense 20 pills in a day." Chen Xiang laughed. "Follow us during this period of time. When the time is almost up, you can leave. Also, right now, it's equivalent to helping me. At that time, I will also repay you." Chen Xiang still had spirit transformation law beads in his possession. This kind of law beads did not have any value to humans. No one would buy it, but for Dragon Beast, it was like a treasure. Wu Profound was also very happy. He knew that it would definitely be much easier to be with Chen Xiang, and now that things were better, they wouldn't need to go hunting dragon beast in the future. Just like this, Chen Xiang and Wu Profound brought a monkey and arrived at the 109th level. As long as the time is right, we will head to the 110th floor. Chen Xiang was actually very relaxed now. He had only used Dao Crystal S to refine pills for the dragon monkey to eat. 10 days had passed. Said and Chen Xiang had already obtained 200 dragon beast Dan. This should help us avoid being eliminated. Chen Xiang laughed. But just in case we have to make more anyway, we have time. Chen Xiang and Wu Profound each had 200 dragon beast Dan S in their hands, but they did not take them all out in one go. Rather, they would take them all out based on how much they could take out, as long as they did not get eliminated, because if they took too many out, they would only benefit the host of the Flying Dragon A.'s Association. Chen Xiang also gave some spirit transformation law beads to the dragon monkey. This could help him change his appearance earlier. Wu Profound did not say anything either. The dragon monkey had saved them a lot of trouble, and he was secretly grateful. Let's go to the upper level, Chen Xiang said. It's better if we go earlier, just in case something unexpected happens. Wu Profound thought so too, nodding his head. He quickly followed Chen Xiang up the stairs. The staircase was in a forest, and when Chen Xiang and Chen Xiang entered the forest, they saw the staircase from far away. Just as they sped up, a gloomy and cold chi suddenly attacked them. There's an ambush. Be careful. Wu Profound anxiously shouted, and immediately avoided the incoming white light beam. After the beam landed on the ground, it created a huge pit in the ground. An extremely strong wave of fire instantly enveloped the entire forest. He had a premonition that it wouldn't be so easy for him and Wu Profound to reach the upper level. This was one of the reasons why he needed to raise his cultivation so urgently, and as expected, he was ambushed while he was going up. With such a powerful attack, it was obvious that he was going to die. Chen Xiang was very angry and rushed forward. 3 Profound Realm. Chen Xiang immediately grabbed Wu Profound and stealthily flew away using the law of flight. In just a few blinks of an eye, Chen Xiang had already reached the staircase and rushed up. In the moment that he rushed up, he recovered once again, and at this time, Wu Profound still had not reacted. It's safe now. Wu Profound saw that there were a lot of people here, and they looked like a small village. He heaved a sigh of relief, but right then, Chen Xiang disappeared. Chen Xiang returned to the lower level, and was already invisible. He quickly sensed that the 3 Profound Realm A.S.S.A.S. Sin was moving quickly, as if he was trying to escape. This was the staircase, after all, and with the large commotion he made earlier, it would be rather troublesome if the people above knew. You want to leave? Chen Xiang immediately followed. He also planned to stay far away from this place and find a chance to successfully launch a sneak attack. Very quickly, Chen Xiang saw the expert. It was an old man. It should be a rather poor 3 Profound Realm. Its strength is about 7 or 8,000. It seems like he won't have much more to show in the future. Chen Xiang's heart turned cold. I must find out who sent them to kill me. This old man came to a desolate mountain, as if he was waiting for someone. C-2760. C-2760 Chen Xiang took out the Emperor's seal, and secretly tried to use the power of his second divine sense, C's Green Dragon. What he did not expect was that as soon as the Green Dragon released its power, the Emperor's seal started to shake violently, releasing waves after waves of qi. Not good, we've been discovered by that guy. Chen Xiang never expected that after he used the power of the Azure Dragon, it would make the Emperor's seal possess such immense power that even he himself was unable to restrain it. As expected, after the old man sensed the qi, he immediately became vigilant. He was in charge of ASSAS, sinating Chen Xiang, so he naturally had some understanding of Chen Xiang's concealed ability, and guessed that Chen Xiang was nearby. Let's give it a try and see if we can get rid of him. Chen Xiang originally wanted to see who the old man would meet up with, but now he was discovered by him. As he was in the air, he immediately teleported to the ground and appeared behind the old man. At the same time, he released his strongest strength in an instant, urging the Azure Dragon in the second divine sense sea to explode. All of the Azure Dragon's power was channeled into the Emperor's seal. Ha! The arm where Chen Xiang held the Emperor's seal was wrapped by an Azure Dragon. The Green Dragon's power was continuously transferred into the Emperor's seal, and that boundless power caused Chen Xiang's entire arm to continuously shake, as if he was about to be knocked out. His Emperor's seal pushed the old man horizontally, and at the same time, the seal glowed with a green light, and an incomparably large illusory green dragon appeared behind Chen Xiang. The green dragon let out a roar and a violent power surged out from his seal, shaking the world. At the same time, the huge green dragon phantom behind him also shot out a violent green lightning, like a tide pouring down from the 9 heavens, densely packed and enveloping the area. Boom! 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 Chen Xiang held the Emperor's seal, gritting his teeth as he constantly smashed it towards the old man from the 3 profound realm. In just a few short moments, he did not remember how many times he had smashed it. He only knew that he had risked his life to release all of his energy into the Emperor's seal. In just a few short moments, the place which was originally surrounded by mountains had been razed to the ground, and there was even a huge pit in the middle. The body of the old man who tried to assassinate Chen Xiang was already smashed into pieces, and he was on his last breath, lying inside the huge pit. Although the old man was in a daze, his mind was currently filled with fear. That instantaneous burst of power scared him out of his wits, because this was only a person from the heaven realm attacking him. This is what happens when you assassinate me. Chen Xiang pressed his hand on the old man's head. He activated soul-absorbing devil spell and searched through the memories in his mind. Soon, he knew who had sent this old man to assassinate him. Flying Dragon Association, Qin Profound. You guys really are colluding. Chen Xiang frowned. He was furious in his heart, and threw the old man into the chuangs. Hi+God furnace turned it into ashes and left the place. Chen Xiang was very surprised. The person in charge of organizing the Flying Dragon Association was actually very partial to Qin Profound, as if Qin Profound had a very mysterious background. The old man sent to assassinate Chen Xiang was one of the followers of the old man in charge of organizing the Flying Dragon Association. Qin Profound also colluded with the elder. The third battle is between 2 fighters. When the time comes, it will be very disadvantageous to me. If I don't want to die, I will have to withdraw. Chen Xiang already knew the rules of the third round. When the time came, every group of 110 people would engage in a chaotic battle in a fighting stage, and the 10 people who fell first would be eliminated. Currently, he was in the same group as the seated disciples of the 7 divine beast sects, and from what he knew, these sects all had transactions with the person in charge of organizing the Flying Dragon Association. According to the memories of the old man, when the war broke out, all the disciples would join hands and defeat all those who had nothing to do with them. This way, the number of people entering the myriad Tao Divine Tablets formation at that time would be very small, far less than 10,000. Right now, my cultivation is on the brink of rising. At that time, I will be helpless against just one Qin Profound. If those disciples join hands and attack me, with my current strength, I will definitely lose. Chen Xiang's heart was heavy now that he had reached the 110th floor. Seeing that he was able to return, Wu Profound became more relieved as he was worried that Chen Xiang was going to look for the killer. However, seeing how serious Chen Xiang's face was, He immediately knew that Chen Xiang must have found out about something. "How are things now?" Chen Xiang asked. "How many of our people have returned?" "He's almost back. Qin Profound got the most dragon beast Dan, there's over 40 of them, I don't know how he got them," Wu Profound said in a low voice. "I've investigated everything clearly, there are more than 10 people who are unable to get their hands on the dragon beast Dan. When the time comes these guys will all be eliminated." Although we said that 10 people would be eliminated in each match, judging from the rules now, it is clear that we have to eliminate as many people as possible. This way, the number of people who will enter the myriad Tao Divine Tablets formation will be fewer. Chen Xiang nodded his head. "I will only take out 5 or 6 Dragon Beast Dan." Wu Profound and Chen Xiang had handed over their Dragon Beast Dan and successfully said through the compet. 1 Tian. It was not surprising for them to be able to through this round since Chen Xiang and the other disciples had some ability after all. That was why Qin Profound had sent people to ambush Chen Xiang and Wu Profound. Now, the second round had ended. 17 people from Chen Xiang's group had been eliminated. This month, everyone should be very tired, so the third round will be held in a month. After the third round, the myriad Tao Divine Tablets formation will arrive around the same time, just in time to enter the myriad Tao Divine Tablets formation. The old man said, "The third round is a compet. 1 Tian of strength. When the time comes, all of you will enter a battlefield. As long as you hold on for an hour and do not fall, you will be able to This was exactly what Chen Xiang understood. He clenched his fist tightly. He had noticed the elder's cold gaze just now. The old man who tried to assassinate him earlier was one of the followers of the old man who just spoke. This old man came from a higher-level power. He came here to collect many benefits, which was why he agreed to do business with the sect. After the disbanding, Qin Profound came over to Chen Xiang's side and said coldly, "Chen Xiang, if you know what's good for you, then don't partic. 1 P8 in the third round. Of course, even if you don't partic 1 P8, you will only live a little longer." "Are you threatening me?" Chen Xiang said coldly. "I am only kindly telling you that your death is imminent. Before you die, do something joyful or you will never be able to enjoy it again." After Qin Profound finished, he laughed and left. Heard what he said just now and felt a great sense of danger. He was so close to Chen Xiang, at that time, Qin Profound would definitely not let him off. "Chen Xiang, are we really going to leave?" Wu Profound had already determined that he did not have enough strength to defeat Qin Profound.